Hey everyone, it's Ryzen. Welcome back to Trails of Cold Steel. So today, how much money do we have? Decent amount. Probably a good idea to actually buy Reen's weapon before we leave. So I'm going to. We must have stuff with masters. No, we don't. Okay. Do I really want to get it done? Yeah, I do. Hey, Zero. I'm dying to death. Your knees hurting, but mostly death. Okay. So, I, attempted Victor again. Not on screen, but... Well, I did. I recorded it, but... It didn't do what I was expecting it to do. So, apparently the way the fight works... is once he gets to half health, it's not just his S-Craft that will do 49,900 damage to you. Every attack will do 49,900 damage, which I didn't realize. So, yeah, I'll try that again to get him to use his S-Craft, but not now. I made a save to try it again. I guess I have to dodge all of his attacks that will kill me halfway through the fight and then wait for his S-Craft. Which is doable, it's just... Oh. I don't want to go to there. I want to go to the station. We already got the food and the book. So yeah, it sucks. I didn't realize that that's how the fight worked. No, literally, that's what happens. And it's 4,900, it's 49,990, I believe, is the damage cap. Like, he just did Radiant Cleaver to me, and all of a sudden I died. I had like 11,000 HP, like, wait, what? And he hit me through 50% evasion because my Shining wore off. Wanna buy me some snacks, Eustace? Buy your own food. Oh, man, she's always with Eustace. Beginning to notice a trend here. I forgot how much they interacted with each other. Yes, yes, yes. Totally not church cat. Ah, the crossbell music. This is the only Trails game that has a damage cap. Unless Nayata has one. Pokemon fan, got a 5-star Pokemon trainer, sisters, and if Geo, Singapore. That's cool. I know it is. It's cool. We did see a lot of weird things in the castle, like a ghost. Their second skill kind of strange. We don't usually fight ghosts, no. I'm sorry, Milliam. Sorry, Laura. Well, we got 3 more games. Don't worry about it. Up front, it buffs red and blue cards and gives a on-hit effect so that if red card lands a hit, it buffs the next blue card, vice versa. Interesting. So are you ready for the prologue? Again? I mean, we're going to Guerrilla Fortress. What do you think's gonna happen? Approaching the trade conference. It's not gonna be good. Ah, the Alborea duped him. We've basically seen like 99% of Cold Steel 4, by the way. Liz and I, at this point. All I have to see is the finale, so. It's good, by the way. How is it unhit plus less one turn? It'd be like a character to skill, a skill that is exact next card's buff, but if it's the exact next turn the buff ends, that's weird. Yeah. We're going to Guerrilla Fortress. I know, it's on the border with Crossbell. It's got giant nuke cannons facing Crossbell. Oh, don't worry, Laura. It'll be vaporized soon enough. Just ask Kia. Military access? Yep. It certainly is. Don't worry, Gwen. They'll be gone soon. Yeah, they're aimed at Crossbell. Wait, you've seen them? Yeah, she's military. Yeah, that sounds like something Jackass would say. Milliam, considering what happened in the Crossbell at the trade conference, I don't think you want to be there right now. Yeah, there's Risha and Ilya and the theme park. Yeah, we're retconning Toa to be there. Just accept it. She actually will be there in the Kai version that we're getting. Like, she has a sprite. I've seen it. She has a portrait. So does Gideon. So does, well, the commander of the terrorist attack, which we know is Gideon. Who else is a portrait? Oh, there's one other character with certain... who's not introduced until like the third game, but she also retroactively shows up in that game. If Geo turnover is different, to say the least. You have 6 characters in the party, 3 in the front, and 3 in the back. Every character has 5 cards when you use your attack, and it's their turn at randomly picked 5 cards from 15 in the front party. It's random which card of attack or not. That's interesting. RMP officer is telling us to leave. Do not approach the rope barriers on platform 1. If you say so. Man, we didn't have much time to get off this train at all. And it's already gone. So, waiting for our train? Oh, this scene. I remember.
Well, isn't this quite the coincidence?
Claire? Sounds like Claire.
Captain Claire!
It's Claire!
Notice Milliam is definitely closer to Clara than she is Lecter. Like, she's genuinely ecstatic to see Claire, where Lecter... I mean, she doesn't hate the guy or anything, but she was nowhere near as excited to see Lecter as she is Claire.
Did you come to see me? Just a coincidence, I'm afraid. Eisengraf will be passing through here soon, so this station's operating under
Those
heightened
two are
security.
much closer.
Oh, right! Still, I'm happy to see you again. It's been, what, 2 months since I last saw you?
Also, Claire seems to be noticeably friendlier with her as well. Much friendlier. Yeah. Yeah, they're basically family. With Lecter, it's more like coworkers. And honestly, she hardly interacts with Osborn, which is odd. But whatever. Claire. Claire's what? Her eyes? She got purple. I know. I got it. I got it, Liz. Twitch won't let you use that emoji? Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I thought I had all the emojis enabled, so... on the thing. Is it default one? I don't know then. Maybe you're typing it wrong. And here it comes. Yep. It's coming. Yep, the Eisengraph. Now there's Toa. And Olivier. Oliver, whatever you want to call him. He's Olivier to me, damn it. Okay, so this probably... like, Reen is actually seeing it like this. And yes, Osborn noticed that. But yes, Reen is actually seeing it like that in slow motion. It's like a technique thing. Just accept that for some reason 8 Leaves training can let you do that. I don't know why. It's like the unclouded eye technique or something. I think that's what they call it. Even though they never showed Richard doing it, but I guess he could. It's not like he's actually moving in slow motion. He's just able to super analyze things clearly. So he was able to see somehow that Toa was on the train, and Olivia was on the train, and Osborn was on the train. I guess it's similar to what, like, Sigmund can do when he was counting the people on the train. Your hand is horribly clipping through your hat, Milliam. That is incredibly awkward. It's no wonder they never show it from behind. I don't even know. I wonder if Reen actually meant to use that there, or if it just was something he did on you know, so subconsciously. I don't remember if they say anything about it. Oh, he's not even aware. Okay, he did it subconsciously then. Just accept that it's an 8 Leaves thing. I know it doesn't make much sense, but just accept. It's one of the things you have to accept. And I don't think it has anything to do with his weird power-up thing. I don't think they ever say, like, oh, it's because of this technique, but you can put 2 and 2 together. At least that's the only explanation I got for it. Otherwise, it's just a really weird, random scene with no explanation. So I'm guessing it's the technique thing. There's quite a few things that you do have to put together. Hey, Crow. Good to see you, man. Just stayed on the train. God damn it, Claire. She's always following me. She's always stalking me. I'm sure eventually they'll be best friends, right? She seems nice enough. Apart from the fact that, apart from the fact that she, you know, works for asshole. But, you know, other than that. It's too bad we know the train gets there. Well, actually, Olivier's on the train, so. And Toa. Yeah, Claire's, like, smart. Claire's how old? I think 23. I'm pretty sure she's 23 in Cold Steel 1. Reina's 16 in Cold Steel 1. I think B is 14. Which is actually kind of a little weird, all things considered. In fact, she's 24. Which makes that kind of weird in Cold Steel 1. Don't worry about it. No. I don't think he's 18. I think he's 17 in Cold Steel 1. Still a little weird. But not too bad, I guess. How old's Fee? Is she 15? She is 15. Okay. It does make Cold Steel 2 a little awkward, admittedly. Actually, I think Sarah's older. All things considered. Yeah, it's impossible. Leanne Sandlock can't possibly be alive. We didn't have a boss fight with her in the previous game. Don't worry about it. She's not a ghost. She's very much alive. Just ask Holy Grand Cross she did to my party members in the previous game. Man, that's a hard boss fight. Oh yeah. Oh, you said. I thought you said a lie. No, alive. I mean, as alive as somebody poking you with a giant lance can be. I guess. I don't know. He seems pretty incompetent to me, but sure. Oh, so Jirai is under direct control of the Imperial government. Because it was annexed. So, for some really stupid reason, so here's a complaint. We will never go to Jirai in all 4 games. And yet they constantly talk about it. Same with Northumbria. It's odd, frankly, for areas that are so critically important to the plot, and they are critically important, we will never see them. That is strange. Northumbria is in the anime. Yeah, so it's a prospering special economic zone on the coast. Notice that it's called the Special Economic Zone. Yeah. I'm sure you can, Eustace explains it. The revenue generated from taxes goes directly into the Imperial government's coffers. Good old Osborne. Yeah. no nobility collects any of the taxes. It's, you know, war chest for Osborne. See why he annexed it? Yeah. There's a lot more to it than that, but we're not going to get much more than that in this game. Yeah, they're basically a colony. That's essentially what they are. He colonized them. Oh, wait till we see how he colonized them. I hate Osborne. I like a meme's like, I've been there. They're all looking at her. Oh, Milliam. I mean, unless we go see Jirai in the finale of, like, the last game. We're not seeing Jirai. Other than some images here and there. It's kind of weird, honestly. Or Halcyonia in the north. We don't go there either. That's south of North Ambria, all the way in the north. It's like a huge mountainous region that we, for some reason, never see, even though it's part of the Empire. At least I'm pretty sure it's part of the Empire. So, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of places that, for some reason, we just never go to in this arc, despite the fact that there is a ton of games, and yeah, I don't know. Seems weird. But whatevs. Just a weird decision, I guess. That's Crossbell. Punishable by Imperial law, yeah, military secrets. Probably not, but yeah. Awfully intimidating and threatening, huh? Right, Saloon got a friend in the starting sky. Confused by the combat system. It's not too hard to figure out, I don't think. Oh, we see the railway cannons? No, they're on the other side, so we shouldn't be able to see them here. Just giant fortress. Man, be a real shame if something were to happen to your fortress, huh? Be a real shame if an 8-year-old girl blew it up. That'll never happen. Good riddance. Screw this fortress. Yeah, I know, they're compensating. Yeah, I mean, he is the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Probably way too much. What do you think they've been colonizing Jirai for? Where do you think the money's been going? I know, I've been on the crossbow side in the previous game. Oh, don't worry, Milliam. Not for long. Give it another 10 hours or so. They'll be gone. We just need another few chapters of Crossbell. Lots of blood and death. Mixed with a lot of incompetence. Yeah, basically. It doesn't explain it very well, at all. This guy. They probably should have done like a battle tutorial with it. Of course, you get so little Sepith in FC and SC that it's kind of difficult to experiment, and this is annoying.
Oh.
Neither does only two.
I know.
He has a PTSD. Funny. Laura with the sword? Yep. At least she two-hands it, unlike her dad. One hand's the damn thing. They're probably evil. I mean, why else will we focus on... No, not really. They're just regular people doing their job. Engineers, tradesmen, who work here. Yep. The last game wasn't orbs. Yeah, it is weird. They are actually like squares. There's there probably two in that thing you got. It's funny. It's kind of like how Risha one-hands her damn sword. Like, really, girl? How? Oh my god.
I see you've arrived.
Oh, it's just Nightheart? Yeah. Yeah, Nightheart.
Oh.
Instructor Nightheart!
Good morning, Major Nightheart. Instructor Valestine of Thor's Military Academy, homeroom teacher for Class 7.
I'm surprised that she salutes him, considering she hates his living guts.
Reporting the arrival of myself and all students in my care.
Like, I really am surprised that she actually gives a shit enough to salute him.
Acknowledging your arrival at 11:30 hours. Welcome to Gorelia Fortress.
You think she would,
In addition to
because
my
she
teaching
absolutely
duties at
hates
the
him.
Academy, I hold the rank of Major in the
Start getting
Imperial
magic
Army's
weapons
4th
in
Armored
Azure. Zero's
Division.
still the sky system. Yeah. Azure when the Master Quartz come in. But the
I'll be acting as your
The
guide,
ordnance look
as well as
square
your
in the
instructor for special
status menu
lectures
in
during your time here at the
Zero and
Fortress.
Azure. Built the position of the person, I guess.
Now, if you'll follow me.
Although I'm really not sure why she hates Nightheart. They never really explain that very well. Like, I mean, I know she's bitter over what Osborne did to her, and fair enough, but that was more the Ironbloods and Claire and the RMP and Osborne himself than random military people. Technically, she is military. She's an instructor at a military academy. If you want to be technical. It's just Sarah always struck me as the person to not give a shit about protocol. Given how horrible this country has been to her, frankly. And all bracers, for that matter. Kind of foolishly, frankly, considering all the good work bracers do for your country. But, you know, don't want to take any chances of political enemies. Kind of a short-sighted decision on Osborne's part, actually. Arguably a political miscalculation. Well, he doesn't want bracers potentially getting involved, you know, in, like, say, Civil War, because they would get in his way, theoretically. But he probably would have been better served trying to get them to his side, since all they care about is actually protecting people. But Osborne is incredibly arrogant with a massive ego. Not to mention he is surrounded by yes men. He does have his flaws. He's also incredibly brilliant, though. And unfortunately quite competent. But he does have a habit of underestimating people. Technically number 2, but that's number 2 in technically. He's emperor in all but name. He effectively runs the country. Yeah, theoretically the emperor can overrule him, but, well, he hasn't so far. So he may as well be in charge. This is actually a good bit of world building. Like, this food looks like shit. Which makes sense. I mean, it's a military ration. I mean, think about how big the military of Erebonia is. They're not going to feed them gourmet food. Costs too much. League of Legends, exploring cultures, you're strong and climb the societal ladder. Well, the thing is, like, Osborne did climb the ladder, and that's why the nobles hate him so much. Like, he's a commoner that effectively became the most powerful man in the country. Technically second, but let's technically. And, you know, nobles feel they're entitled to be stronger than him. Status-wise. Which, obviously, they're wrong about. You know, caste system. Yeah, the game is anti-caste system. I mean, for good reason. Caste systems are... they do horrible things. But Osborne being the alternative... I mean, it's like, you know, picking between which poison you'd like to take. What? Sorry, I had to talk to Liz for a second. At least there's some cheese and an apple. Yes, Chancellor was always a noble position. I don't think they directly ever say that, but that's a simple assumption to make. Actually, no, I think they have said that. That like it was not a position typically. It was never given to a commoner, so it was always given to a noble. I don't think it was an inherited position, but it was never a commoner's position to be appointed to. Indeed. Yeah, the army food serves simple foods all the time to avoid decrease in morale from wartime rationing. That makes sense. It's also cheap, let's be honest. It also, the culture of Erebonia is pretty screwed up with its warmongeringness, let's be honest here. Yeah, it is worth being aware of, but it does not speak well of their culture. Sort means you have a crappy army. Indeed, it doesn't. Liberal has a much smaller army. Liberal's army is very elite. Arguably the best army in the entire continent. Not the strongest, because in sheer numbers, Erebonia is much more powerful, but in terms of training and everything, yeah. Probably the best army in Zemuria. We've seen how competent they are. Not to mention led by the most brilliant mind in the world. Yeah, Erebonia, I mean, they're modeled after, like, well, Germany, effectively. They're, I mean, Osborne himself is, inspired by Bismarck, the literal blood and iron chancellor in real history. But yeah, they're effectively a superpower. Right. Yes, we can tour the fortress. No history about, but it's been pre-World War II. Yes. Chancellor, I think it's Otto von Bismarck. Was 1867 to 1871. Yeah, that sounds right. It was the late 1800s. Pre-World War I. But yes, he was the literal Blood and Iron Chancellor in real life. So if you want to read up on the guy that Osborne's based off of, that's who you'd wiki. Pretty much both have the same ideology. Country of strength. Let's see. Okay, so we can buy a... You need to jump down, kitty. I'm not entirely sure where the food is. The food is? No, there's something we can buy, but I gotta figure out where the shop is. We don't get to explore Gorelia very much, so I don't exactly remember where the hell I'm going here. You hardly explore Gorelia. I mean, the thing gets nuked, I mean, pretty early on in Azure. Not, actually, no, just toward the end of Azure, but Cold Steel starts towards the end of Zero, so... Yeah, this fortress is not long for the world. Oh, I think it's here, actually. No, I want to buy... Nope, I am incorrect. In later Trails game, in Cold Steel games, I know they, I don't think I can teleport here either, which sucks. They fixed this by letting you teleport places, more places, and they actually label the shops on the map, which is nice. I don't know why they don't do that here. Imagine a secret gimmick boss with one night issue the gimmicks to hit a chain of every colored card to win the fight. I guess reducing with the buffs and stuff. We'll find a way to one-shot it. It just sounds like gamers gaming. Alright, I know it's in the junction. Let's see. I think I have to go to this way, actually. That's the flight port. That doesn't seem right. Well, we trigger a scene on here. Oh, there was a text message. And it's junk. Yeah, here's the airport. And see the let me solo her, dude, raising to fame. Can't one shot any boss, you do it wrong. That's Gaius, I think. Talk to him later. I know there's definitely shops here somewhere. Oop, I got a trigger scene here. You hear about let me solo her yet? Has it got in the flesh? No idea. I actually really do like the political tensions they build in the background, because most of the time when games cover politics, it's usually in the middle of war, which, okay, I mean, that works, but it is nice to see what actually builds up and leads to a civil war. You know, it doesn't just happen overnight. There's years and years of tensions. And strolls in the final boss of Elden Ring, but Negan takes 0 damage in the fight. That's insane. That is insane. Yeah, not my idea of a good time. And they salute. Those wheels don't quite look like they're moving properly on the tank, but that's okay. It's located near the south exit. Okay. Yeah, so we're one of the students of Thor's. Just stayed our way. We're all incredibly busy. Busy doing what? Plotting to annex Crossbell? Have fun with that. I'd recommend against it, actually. Might end poorly in a couple of years for you. But I guess that's their prerogative. Also, you might want to stay away from the rail cannons in about, I don't know, 3 weeks. Okay, it's here. Yeah. I don't care. Give me some things. A lot of privates here. PSP Vita graphics were limited. I know, this is a Vita game. It doesn't really bother me. It's funny. Besides, the skyboxes were much worse in, like, Azure, to be honest. Terra Bomb. I don't think you can ever buy Tyrol bombs in this game. Yeah, EV charges are, for some reason, like, super expensive in this game. Obnoxiously so, frankly. Might as well buy, like, 10 more battlescopes. I think we got all the master quartz, right? Yeah. All the good ones. Why don't I get it at attack 3 for, Wait, can I, like, upgrade? Yeah, there we go. You can actually get attack 3s at this point, so... They don't cost that much. Might as well get one for... green. Orphan, that's what it is. It's like, I know you can do it. Wait here. Attack 3. That'll help. Yeah, that'll help. Now we talk to everybody. Well, first I gotta buy that, Yeah, I know, dude. I want to buy the damn paper. So I can read your propaganda. I mean, totally legitimate paper. Totally not the worst newspaper service in the series. Don't worry about it. Totally not filled with propaganda. Western Area Trade Conference. Well, this is optimized last time. You can see how for us that's how play people play Starbucks and the original SNES. So the emulator alone. Star Fox. I don't remember it running that poorly on the SNES. The bigger issue with the Star Fox on the SNES is the draw distance is horrendous. Like, almost unplayably so. Especially in later stages. Like, that's the only reason that game is hard, is because you can't see what you're doing. I don't think Star Fox on the SNES has aged particularly well. Frankly, I think it's like a bad game nowadays. I have it. I've played it. It is unpleasant to play. You want to play a good Star Fox game? Play 64. That game has aged well. Okay, so yeah. We know this already. We saw this in the previous game. Erebonias, represented by Oliver. He's there for the Emperor and Osborne, of course. So he can proceed to only talk to Rocksmith, because, you know, he doesn't even acknowledge the other two. Chloe's gonna be there. Albert's gonna be there. Yep. I like Albert, he's cool. Yeah, Orcus Tower, it's tall. We got it. Yeah. No matter the topics that are going to come up, yeah, they're going to talk about the security of Crossbow. You know that. Tax increases in Nordia province. Yep, more political buildup. The nobles raising taxes for their military. Rhineford companies. Goes in Ruhr. Also doing the tax raise for the first time. Figures dismissal of both of the running economy. And apparently they're against it, which, I mean, they're a big business. Obviously they're against it. Not for, what should I say here? Not out of the kindness of their heart. The Rhineford Company is a company trying to make a profit. Functionally professional. Sneakers all you want. Come to the stage. Okay. Stragas, yep. Star Fox 64 DS. Yeah. Star Fox Zero, I've actually heard is good, but some people didn't like it, I guess. How many times have they done Star Fox 64 so far? Star Fox 64, Star Fox 64 DS, and Star Fox Zero is effectively a remake of Star Fox 64. In fact, Star Fox 64 is technically a remake of the original Star Fox. They basically are a defense contractor. That is essentially what the Rhineford Company is. Being blunt here, I mean, Lisa's told us at this point what kind of company they are, and she did not paint them in a good light, nor her mother. Frankly, nor should they be. They are questionable as far as morality is concerned. They're arguably amoral, at best. It's not to say Irina is, like, totally evil or anything like that, but it's just you shoot yourself at the soldiers. Old habits die hard. I love you, Fee. You are amazing, girl. Don't ever change. I mean, she will change, but not that way. I mean, Irina built those rail cannons, which speaks very poorly of her, frankly. You know, those are not weapons of war. They are mass death. I mean, there's literally no functional purpose to those rail cannons. I mean, think about it. They can't move. They're basically useless in terms of actual combat potential. What are you going to do? You're going to level Crossbow City with it? Ooh. And that gives you what tactical advantage? They're basically there to say, look how big our dick is. That's literally their purpose. Yeah. They made them pretty... Oh, I know they did. She did it for money. But they are incredibly useless, tactically speaking. And if they could actually move, they'd be incredibly terrifying. I mean, yeah, they're effectively an allegory for nukes. Granted, they don't cause radiation, but they cause similar destruction on a small scale. It's like a tactical nuke almost without the radiation. They could level Orcus Tower with a single shot with that thing. They could level the entirety of Crossbow City in about a half hour and bombarding it, which is just insane. I know. Well, if they didn't fire the damn things, Kia wouldn't have vaporized it. They kind of got what was coming to them. Closing out what you guys thought, like, archaisms. Getting exposition that we've heard 500,000 times in the series. I get it, it's for people that haven't actually played the other games, although I don't know what you're doing here if you haven't at least played Sky. I get skipping Crossbow because they weren't officially released. I do not get skipping Sky. Yeah, that is heavy. In your opinion? Yeah, Ouroboros is weird. In fact, we still really have little idea what they're actually doing. I mean, they collected the Oriole, and that's basically all they've done at this point. What's in to listen when you put a gun to their head? That is essentially what they're thinking. Except all that's actually accomplished is make Crossbellans even angrier at them. Actually made it easier for Dieter Croix to do what he did. So it was actually kind of counterproductive. Granted, Osborne used it to his advantage anyway, because that's what he does. He pushes people in the way he wants them to react. There is a lot we don't know. That is correct. I do not think we're going to get a 4-game arc again. Yikes, that's kind of an unsettling thought. Possession in a Trails game? Come on, Emma, now you're just being ridiculous. I mean, that would never happen. You gonna explain your whole weird thaumaturgy-like stuff yet? I already had my chapter. Go away. But we learned nothing about you. I have a talking cat? Okay. Screw you too, Emma. I hope you don't want to learn anything about him in this game, because, we're not going to. At all. We're definitely getting a trilogy. I'm kind of surprised if that's the case. The Japanese reaction to the fact that there was a 4th game in Cold Steel was very poor. Yeah, they said we're about 6% of the story. Supposedly there's 3 arcs left. Oh, this guy. This guy can go fuck himself. Lieutenant General Walter, go take a long walk off a shore pier. Nah, if anything, you should probably stab him. No, this guy is a total monster. Like, this guy's a sociopath. That's what they said. Yeah, there's 3 more arcs. 3 more countries to cover. If you don't recognize this guy, this is the guy that ordered the rail cannons to be fired. Because, oh, they took out my vanguard. I'm so embarrassed. You, push the Death Star button. I'm not a monster at all. Oh, we'll target a less populated area of Crossbell. That'll be our mercy. Oh god, an 8-year-old girl with a giant robot just pooped me out of existence. Oh dear. Yeah, fuck this guy. He got exactly what he deserved. 3 or 4 hours and 160 into Crossbell. Yeah, I know. They're long. They must really be scraping the bottom. I'm such an asshole, aren't I? Yeah, they realized that, oh yeah, this guy gets, like, Thanos. We should probably make him, the most unlikable douchebag ever so you don't feel bad for him. Mission accomplished, Falcom. You've made him one of the most evil people in the series. For a guy that gets all of 2 seconds of screen time, he is awfully punchable. I've heard of Purple Lightning where it was, but a bracer's still a bracer. Oh, those civilians, why won't they know their place? Unlike me, who tries to bombard a city to death. What a dick. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. It's just gonna be Thanos stabbing him vanishes at any time return, probably. Who knows? The Grandmaster's gonna be something really weird. Maybe it's Beryl! Oh my god. Trying to think of the most ridiculous thing it'd be. It turns out it's Estelle. She was playing us all along. No. That's the most, like, ridiculously stupid thing they could do. There is no Grandmaster. It was all an illusion. Everything was a dream. Adios was bored one day. Yeah, I know that it's Adios. I do not think they're going in that direction. We know it's female, whoever the Grandmaster is, and that's basically it. I don't think it's Adios. If anything, I think if they ever reveal Adios, it'll be that she doesn't actually exist. I don't think they're gonna go with the whole, the goddess is actually super evil. That would be a weird direction for this series to go, given that they've made it very damn clear that the church is not evil in the series. I mean, they protect artifacts and stuff. Yeah, I know. As of Cold Steel 1, we know Dominion number 1 is Ein. They tell us that in 3rd. Let's see. Obviously, we got Wazi in the Crossbow games. Kevin and Sky. And technically, we did get a drop for the Roaring Lion, which is number 8, but we have no idea. I don't think they gave us a name. They just told us that in 3rd on the Weissman door. Grandmaster will be pissed. And we'll see if they reveal any more Dominions in this arc. I mean, they probably do, but I'm not telling you. But yeah, as of Cold Steel 1, that is those are the 3 we know. Technically 3.5 if you count number 8. I think it's Roaring Lion? I think that's what it was. The guy that investigated the Salt Pail in Northumbria. Milliam! Do you like stalk Eustace or something? No, Milliam. Like, you're always around him. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's like one of the coolest characters in the arc, so you've chosen well. It's just kind of weird. Actually, I think she just likes annoying the shit out of him. Ours was Hachimaru and Kuros Boyos. Nice. I have not. I will wait to experience them. I won't be streaming them blind, but I will experience. I will. Because Liz will play them first. Would I ever lie to you? Why'd you join Class 7 then? Probably for whatever her mission is. I mean, whatever. It's really sad how she calls him Gramps, like, out of respect. And we know how he really feels about her. He referred to her as it. That says all you need to know. Thanks, Milliam. Thanks. I like you a lot, girl, but that is incredibly depressing. Yeah, she, sometimes Milliam speaks her mind too much. She has no filter. Like, Osborne don't give a shit about anybody. Oh, well, can't go that way. Unfortunately, we don't get before we get all... Before we get Hachimaru, though. Me? Yeah, I will. Yeah. Oh, totally. We'll be long done before, Hachimaru comes out. But we have Nayata. And then you get to play Xenoblade 3 first, if you would like to. I probably will stream Xenoblade 3. I don't know. I mean, no, I almost certainly will stream Xenoblade 3 because, just not when it comes out immediately, because I'm not interrupting the Trail series. I've streamed the other 2, so there's no reason not to. I know we're getting 0 this year. Yes. Nayata is next year, probably summer of next year, and then fall for no. It's probably gonna be spring of next year for Nayata. Probably summer for Azure, and then actually no, it's probably spring for Azure, summer for Nayata, and then fall for Hachimari next year. That's my guess for the releases. I don't think they've officially said that, but I mean that's the likely order. Yeah, they're definitely doing Azure first after Zero. And then Nayata, which supposedly is not canon, but then there's debates on it. I will stream Nayata. It is actually getting an English dub, which is cool. Jirai was super lively, but this place, yeah. He's having withdrawals, and he just... is he access casino? No, he's... right. This place is depressing. Everything looked fine to you, huh? Yeah, on the surface, Machias. But what happens when you dig below that surface? A little bird told me Chancellor was behind the annexation in the first place. Used some pretty forceful tactics to get them to agree, huh? Most of their tax money takes a brand new detour straight into the Imperial government's pockets. Yeah, everybody may seem happy on the surface, but behind that surface, it's not so pretty. Okay, Machias. Define protection, Machias. I know it sucks to come to the realization that your country has done monstrous things, but that's reality, man. I do like how Machias is like, it can't be. Like, it's obviously his dad is a reformist, so he's like, my dad can't be working for somebody that's evil. No, that can't be. Sorry, Machias, your dad is working for a total monster. And I know it sucks that you have to come to that realization, but that is the realization he's gonna have to come to. Japan 2020, it's years late for us. Yeah, I know. I know. It's pretty inexcusable. It's because they don't give the scripts until 2 years after release. Which needs to change. Since they're selling better in the West than Japan now. Okay, now I think I had this problem. I think Liz had this problem too, where we couldn't find the last person. Then the motor pool. Okay, they're over here. This is an annoying part of the game. Yeah, you couldn't find the helipad. That's why I went there early. Oh shit, I have to talk to... Oh no, I already talked to Nightheart. Yeah, that other save file is my Victor save file that for some reason I still couldn't get him to use his S-Craft in. Even though he just one-shot me with a non-S-Craft move. Whatever, I'll try it again later. Oh right, we're gonna look at the military exercise. So yeah, Elliot thinks his dad wants him to join the military, but obviously Elliot, I mean, let's be honest, look at the guy. Does he look like a soldier? I mean, I know there's stereotyping, but Elliot is not cut out for soldier work. He'd be... I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy is pretty powerful for, you know, all things considered. And, you know, he'll get stronger as the year goes on, but it's just not his personality at all. Hey, Lorenzo. Oh yeah, Axons. They're the tanks. I don't know why they call them Axons. Of course, Axon was a mech in Xenogears. I remember that. It was a boss fight, I remember, right? Yeah. Sounds pretty brutal. The older tanks won't stand a chance. Indeed. Think about how wasteful that is, actually. They have so much money to blow from their taxation for their military and how much they're funding it, that they can afford to just blow up older model tanks. Just blow them up with live ammunition. also speaks to the kind of arrogance that their military has. Like, imagine Liberl ever doing this. They would never do this. They would never waste equipment like that. Survivor's overtime. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, did we talk to everybody? I hate this part. Okay, there we go. It's always weird that you talk to people, but then it doesn't trigger the scene until you leave a screen. Like, I don't understand why that's the trigger. And they've done it all the time. Like, they did it in the Sky games, too, on the airships. It's very strange that they've just consistently done that. Like, you couldn't set up an auto event that just, like an auto flag when you talk to the last person? It seems weird to code it this way. Like, what's specific about the warp point to the next screen that causes the cutscene to advance? It's strange. This is the only series I know that does that. I think there's an AP event. No. There is no AP. Already got all the AP we need for the chapter. That's depressing. But they are armored cars, of course they're not going to have windows. Military training ground. By the way, game, nice to see the Nord Mountains in the background, even though that makes no sense. Yeah, they just copy-pasted the literal same mountains from Nord. A little lazy, but hey, you gotta save the budget somewhere. How else do you think they afforded all the Reen's famous voice actor in Japanese? They had to cut corners on the mountain. Oh my god, they literally bring attention to it. Why would you bring attention to it? That's like in FF7R when they're like, oh, never forget this view. Like, you mean the shitty JPEG below us? Why are you bringing attention to that? It looks like ass. Don't point it out. It'd be like Azure being like, don't ever forget this sky. Why? It looks like a square. I want to forget it. I don't see the fail. Oh, this scene. Oh, enjoy. I love this. Hey, yeah, there's Elliot's dad. I mean, from what Elliot was saying, he's a total misogynistic jerk. Man, he seems pretty intimidating. Oh god. Elliot, my boy! It's good to see you again! What? What's going on? Oh god. Yeah. So, yeah, Elliot's kind of interpretation he gave of his father was not so accurate. which is kind of interesting. From, you know, his perspective doesn't quite match his real dad. I can't breathe. I feel like everything I've told him was a lie. Nightheart's like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. He does seem like... He is a cool dude. Oh my god, face palm! Nightheart's like, I am never living this down. Trying to see if that helps. Words fail me. Knock it off. Anyway, moving along. I mean, we're good on my end, so it seems to be very stable. Yeah, Craig the Red. Please make your acquaintance. Yeah, I like Craig. He's good. Olaf. Yeah, you got a good dad. Believe me, I feel it in the bones. General Craig. He is one of the coolest NPCs in the arc. Yeah, they're gonna blow up the other tanks. Oh yeah, this is the song from Crossbell. Crossbell arc. Yeah, literally, they bring this song back. Back during the whole climax of Azure, when the Imperial army was invading. Cool that they brought this song back. Well, so much for that tank. You got them. They're dead. Oh, they also played this when we fought the armored car in Crossbell. Right before we fought Gideon. Oh no, right after we fought Gideon. In the previous game. I like how they're terrified by this. They should be. Yeah, this is kind of a terrifying thing. Must be especially hard on Elisa. Yeah, the kind of death and destruction they can cause. They probably are. Unfortunately. Well, hopefully we'll never have to fight an Axon. Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't get used to it either. I like that perspective. If the sounds of gun warfare ever start bothering you, that's when you should be concerned. If it ever becomes normal. Of course, he was projecting about his own power. He doesn't want that to be normal. now we're at night here. Yeah, it's the end of the day. Oh. What we got going on? It's hashed beef day. This is their one day when I guess they get decent food. Dude, you don't even have a name. Sarah is so far out of your league. It's not even funny, man. Yeah, they're pretty badass. Like a division of muscle, man. I don't know, Fee. You're pretty tough yourself. I mean, you've been downgraded to like the 4th strongest student in the class, but still. Right behind Laura. Then Crow and Milliam. They're 1 and 2. Which one's 1A and which one's 1B? Well, you can debate that, I guess. Probably Milliam, but... you could make a case either way, actually. Or they're about equal. Reed's probably like 5 or 6. What do you mean? Well, no, they're kind of important. I mean, you still need infantry. Not necessarily. Just ask Cassius about that. I mean, he embarrassed Arabonia with next to nothing. Just a couple of patrol ships, really. Yeah, you know, your mother sounds like a real jackass. Laura? You'd be right if this wasn't fictional anime Germany. No, it definitely does still matter. No morality of its own, yeah, it's just wanting destruction. I guess you could. I guess you're right there, Laura. Hey, Sarah. So we got some information on the terrorists. Figured out who C is, and S, and... Where's the other guy? V? Yeah, V. G, I mean, we know his name's Gideon, but we don't know anything about him. Other than he's about to die horribly from Red Constellation, but, I mean, we don't know that, but... Well, they don't know that, but we know that. Poor guy. What a way to go. Gideon's one of those characters that just grows on you the more you know about him. He's probably one of the antagonists I actually like more in this arc than a lot of the other antagonists, which is funny for a guy that has so little screen time. We'll learn more about him as it goes. If you don't want the rest of yours gonna have... It's always useless! I'd sooner throw it away than give it to you. It's always Eustace. She's always messing with Eustace. It's awesome. I didn't notice it the first time that how much she like tries specifically to interact with Eustace. Even back in Cold Steel 1. It's just funny and Eustace is annoyed by her. Oh, what are these guys doing? Oh, today's quota. Oh yeah, orbital net drop. Yep, hooked up in crossbow. I'd prefer you to not get it because, yeah, you guys are powerful enough, but I mean, that is one of the downsides of the Empire, is it's so large that it's going to take a while for that kind of technology to develop. Crossbow, it's super easy. It's small. Well, much easier. It's just so funny. An orb mail. Hey, Liz, you want to check our orb mail? There's no such thing as off hours when they can just send you photos around the clock. Oh, don't we know it? Liz knows all about that shit. What do you mean extra exercises? 20? 20 accents with C units by tomorrow, huh? What the hell is a C unit? Oh, much of them came by this evening. Exactly 20. How convenient. Guys, want anything? Yeah, a life. But apparently you guys don't have that. Poor bastards. Well, how do we start on this freaking map? Oh, yeah, we can save, I guess. Sure. Cool. Probably here, if I had to guess. Oh, I thought we were continuing. Storm is approaching? Just gonna wear that might disconnect due to an internet blackout. Ah. That sucks. No, the archive's always around. I mean, on YouTube eventually. But I mean, it's on Twitch until it goes on YouTube. The archives are always behind on YouTube by a little bit. Going over the thing there. Okay, so we're gonna learn about the terrorists. Yeah, they're in Crossbell. I know. I was there. Oh no, they are. They're gonna attack Orcus Tower. I mean, Gideon is. G, whatever you want to say. Call him. Allowing it to happen so they can embarrass Crossbell. What do you think they're doing, Rain? Nightheart, keep telling yourself that, buddy. You don't know much about your boss, do you? Yeah. Did you ever question why? They're talking about Red Constellation. Red Constellation. Fee, of course, knows who they are. Considering she was in Zephyr. Right, they have an airship. So interesting. Somehow they're obtaining Rhineford technology, the terrorists, including an airship. So they must have some sort of either insider or a way to steal it somehow. Which is interesting. Actually, I think Sarah already saw their airship. In fact, they must have 2 airships because they used one to attack Crossbow as well. The Orcus Tower attack. They had another airship. How they got 2, I have no idea. But they definitely have at least 2. Laura, this is a JRPG. I don't think you've played this JRPG before, have you? That's true, they did target Princess Alphen. Oh no, they're targeting the Chancellor. I mean, they literally said so. Why is this not voiced? I don't know. Can you tell us who they are? Old school projector. Well, there's Gideon. Of course, now that he's 5 seconds away from dying off camera, we have to learn about him. Indeed. Michael Gideon. He taught at the Imperial Academy of Heimdall. Essentially, he's a university professor. Or former university professor. Taught political philosophy. Makes sense. So he was fired because he criticized Osborne. For simply exercising free speech. If anything, it can be argued that they ended up turning him into a terrorist unnecessarily. Keep in mind, Gideon is like, was a no-name university professor. He was no threat politically whatsoever to Osborne. That is awfully petty. Kind of shows you how fragile Osborne's ego actually is. Yeah, he's not as strong as he likes to pretend. There's the other 3. But we know nothing about the other 3 at all, I guess. Yeah, whoever the C is, seems pretty tough. You're not wrong, Reen. Nightheart could for sure. He could take all 3 of them on at the same time, yes. Yes, they mean Olivier's friend, Major Vander Muller. I know. Indeed. And his manager. And he wears sunglasses. And look, it was a weird time in his life, okay? So basically, we know nothing. We don't even know their source of funding. So we basically only know about the one guy that's about to die. Convenient now that he's about to be killed off, but you know. Poor G. I actually do feel bad for him because, yeah. Losing your job just because you criticized a politician. That is horrible. Especially when you had no actual power to enact any sort of change against them. Like, my God, how petty do you have to be to get that man fired? It's like, oh, how dare you bruise my ego? Yeah. Although I do like how, like, Osborn is not quite as strong as he likes to pretend he is with his ego. It is very easily bruised. Is one of them okay? I don't want to be the one behind. Oh, Muller wants to speak with you? Major Vander. Didn't take long for a small blackout. That sucks. Okay, so the attack on Orcus Tower is happening. In fact, it basically ended. So they're probably chasing Gideon right now. Right. They had Ouroboros mechs that they bought from them. You might want to turn that off. Yeah, too late. Too late. I think you missed Gideon's backstory. Got fired for criticizing Osborn at his job at the university in Heimdall. God damn, Osborn has a petty, easily bruised ego. He really is a standard strongman dictator, isn't he? Oh yeah, they took over the Axon tanks. Welcome back to the prologue. Get it? C units? It's very clever, game. Very clever. I don't know, probably because they have the same damn name as the main antagonist of the game. Also, this song is amazing. C units. You might as well have put a giant neon sign that says C is about to take over these tanks. Yes, shoot the tanks with a gun. That's gonna go well. Man, you guys, you must really like your job, because I wouldn't be doing that. Holy cow. Oh yeah, Crow and Milliam are here, even though they weren't here in the prologue. Do I have an explanation for that? Yeah, you see, it's, look at the pretty kitty in the background. Oh, wait, there's no cat in this scene. I have no explanation for you. It was good dental, you know, hard to find good coverage. Indeed. Okay. The theory, you know, there is a theory that Kia did something and that caused them to be here. I don't buy that. I don't think they're doing that. I think it's literally just they were hiding Crow and Milliam as party members, which is weird and frankly was unnecessary. The fact that Crow and Milliam are party members is not a plot twist, so I don't know why. What in Idios's name is going on here? I know, I should nuke Crossbell for this. That'll solve the problem. Oh, I can't wait for you to get Thanos, man. I'm gonna celebrate. Fuck this guy. Oh my god, I hate this guy so much. They took out like 5 tanks. Nuke them. I don't know who I hate more, the Walter or the dumbass soldier that actually obeyed that order. Yeah, sometimes you should disobey an order. When your commanding officer tells you to effectively bombard a country to kill hundreds of thousands of people, the answer is no. You do not follow that order. Actually, like, literally, they made an entire book based on that concept in Star Wars. The guy that pushed the button for the Death Star. Like, literally, no joke. In the extended universe. Okay, so I get that this is supposed to look cool with Olaf riding on top of the tank. What the fuck is he doing? Like, why? Why is he doing that? And I know what you're thinking. He's just doing that on the way there, right? He's not going to actually do that in live combat situations. You know, I'm not a tactical genius by any means, but I'm pretty sure your commanding officer should not be standing out in the open on top of the armored tank outside of the armor. You might as well put a giant neon sign that says, "Here, sniper, hit this target." I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but it is ridiculous. Of course, guys, with his whole "I can sense anything." Oh, gee, you mean the tanks were a complete diversion and distraction from their actual target, aka the railway guns? Oh yeah, Crow and Milliam have dialogue here, despite the fact that they weren't even here in the prologue. This is probably the second best song in the game. Enjoy it. It's awesome. Oh, they have more than 2 airships. They have 3 airships. Good to know.
Do they seriously think they could breach an impregnable fortress?
Do you really think your fortress is impregnable? Are you that stupid?
They're just terrorists. Wipe them out.
You guys are dumb.
Right back at you.
Wow. No wonder your army sucks. Nobody dies in trails. That's what I hear all the time. Pay no attention to the massive amount of blood on them. They're apparently alive, according to the people that say that. No, they're dead. Like, they're dead,
All
dead.
right. Let's get this party started then.
Yeah, they murdered them.
We're headed straight for the left railway gun. If anyone gets in our way, fill them full of holes.
Yeah!
That is such a stupid complaint. I'm sorry.
What's the Imperial Liberation Front doing here?
Attacking you! What do you think they're doing here? You put giant fuck me cannons in this place!
I thought they were in crossbow.
There's more than one of them, you dumbasses.
Well, that is the main attraction.
Nice sword. Oh, they're dead.
They sure didn't put up much of a fight, did they?
It's not much of a contest when you have a bunch of soldiers just mow them down.
Our mission is to support Comrade G over in Crosspell. Our target is the right railway gun.
Yeah, they're going for the railway guns.
Let's show
You
him
know this
some
in the
beautiful
prologue.
fireworks, shall we?
You gotta nuke the tower, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you not do that? Indeed. Now, you guys did put a failsafe that you can, you know, shut them off, right? Right? You were remotely competent? No? No, you're not. You're not. You don't have a failsafe for the artillery cannons that can level an entire country? No? Wow. Are you sure you guys are the strongest army in the country, continent? Or is this just a matter of you're too powerful for your own good? But yeah, we need to go back into the fortress. Oh, Sarah's with us, by the way. So that's good. Oh yeah, we're back officially at the prologue. I know, game. We were kind of here. I know where we are. It is so funny that they tell us again. Gotta start the music over.
It's no use. We can't even scratch them.
Yeah, no kidding. You're firing guns. Why don't you stab it with the bayonet? That'll work.
What's happening? Who's in control of those things?
No idea.
Get in touch with the 4th Armored Division. We need backup from Lieutenant General Craig.
Sarah needs 4,400. I have to see how much bonding points Sarah has. Her final bonding event. Oh, you can fast forward cutscenes just like in Azure by holding circle. I didn't know that, but I tested that earlier. So yeah, we'll be able to do all the final bonding events in this game. It'll be somewhat annoying, but not that annoying. I mean, it'll be a whole stream of like the final bonding event again and again, but whatever. Assuming I can unlock them all. Yeah, they're all dead, but again, nobody dies in Trails, so don't worry about it. It's just jelly. It's ketchup.
This is awful. What happened here?
They got murdered by the terrorists. I don't know. Sorry, I don't like that. I think that's a
I
dumb
can smell
complaint.
smoke. Are they using gunpowder?
They've completely blindsided us.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It appears that everything else they've done
It's really
today
funny
was
in
to
this arc in
serve as a
particular,
decoy, even making the
where-
tanks go haywire.
More people die in this arc than any other arc in the series.
Right. It looks like their real target was the railway guns all along.
Indeed.
Which means they must be serious about targeting that trade conference in Crossbell City.
They wouldn't.
Oh, they would. Granted, their target is Osborne, and arguably could be a good thing if he dies. Granted, their methods are horrible.
How can they possibly sink?
I mean, he is kind of the biggest monster on the continent.
So, they're intent on taking the Chancellor's head after all.
Don't worry, Eustace, there won't be a head left if they fire that thing.
Resorting to such wanton violence? This is absolutely outrageous.
I mean, yeah, it's a terrible thing to do, totally.
This does look kind of bad.
Hi, Milliam.
Understatement of the year.
Understatement of the year. No kidding, Crow.
Please.
Yeah,
let
good to
us-
see him here, I guess.
We don't know if reinforcements are on the way, and it doesn't look like we have much time left. We have to stop them before they can activate the railway guns.
Green's right.
I don't know how much we can really do, but considering the alternative, we have to try.
I mean, I got problems with this arc too, but that's not one of them.
Those terrorists had their way.
My complaints are pretty minor.
Looks
in the
like
grand
any
scheme of
attempt to
things.
convince you otherwise would fall on deaf ears. All right. Green, you and the rest of Group A are with me. Group B, you'll be under the command of Major Neidhart.
Yeah, sadly, no playable Neidhart.
One group will secure the gun in the right wing. The other group will secure the left.
This would have been the perfect opportunity to actually have a dual party section, but we don't. One of the things I would have changed.
This is an actual combat situation with real lives at stake. I expect the best from each of you.
But, oh well.
Yes, sir. All right, Class 7. Our objective is to stop the activation of the railway guns.
I don't know. If you overuse death, it kind of loses its impact.
We've learned a lot at the Academy. It's time to put that knowledge to the test.
Understood.
In this series, when a character dies, it matters. There's actual impact to it. It develops another character, or it has a lasting effect. And that is how you should handle death in a long-running series. So, yeah, we got Sarah now. We can use her for now. She has an amazing Master Quartz. Thor. It recovers HP and EP as she attacks and uses her crafts. Just fantastic. We could steal her stuff, but why? She's got some good stuff. I mean, you can actually make a decent evade tank, but nah, we'll just use her as is. She's good. Let's see what she's got. She can do a seal 90% of the time, which is good. She can put insight on herself and full strength and speed buff. She's got a delay move that's very good. And a really powerful S-Craft that guarantees feint. Yeah, she's amazing. Unfortunately, she is only temporary. Which kinda sucks. She's level 3. Okay. All of those bonding events I've done with her have given her, link points, by the way.
Here they come.
Time to take on some robots.
They look just like that thing we fought during our field study.
Yeah, they've definitely released that thing in the Gram as a distraction.
Mechanical monstrosities.
Save the talking for later. We need to take these things out.
I don't think they ever like say that directly,
Got
but
it.
putting two and two together, that's almost certainly what they did. Draw out some,
Enemy
you
sighted.
know,
Take
units to
them out.
investigate that. Probably distract the intelligence division. That's probably their thinking. Same robots we fought from Ouroboros
Leave it to me.
in all the other games. Only a little more annoying, I guess. And in 3D. Actually, these are the same ones they brought in like Orcus Tower. These tri-attacker ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm linking with Sarah because this is the only time I can use Sarah, so yeah. No, water? Hydro cannon.
My turn. it to me.
Let's go to use her her regular crafts. Nice. Sarah's fantastic. Like, seriously. She's probably the best physical fighter in the game. So,
My turn.
granted, she should be.
My turn.
Okay.
She is badass.
Bringing the thunder now.
I mean, you are the purple lightning. I know that wasn't very useful right now, but I'm just wanted to show it off for you.
Evil will fall before my blade. I've only.
No doubt about it. Those things were the same as the one we fought outside Legram.
It seems a large number of them are on the loose inside the fortress. I'm guessing that's what got the soldiers we just saw too.
Seems so.
I think after this point, they'll actually
They look more like orbally powered archaisms than monsters.
they'll start showing us bond points from Sarah for her bonding events, which is good.
So these are archaisms.
Granted, I think there's only one left, but
Are you
Still.
certain, instructor?
yeah.
Yeah, they're a kind of autonomous weapon made by a rather unsavory group.
Ouroboros.
Pain to deal with too.
We know it's Ouroboros.
We need to hurry, but keep your wits about you.
They're the same robots.
Understood.
Where the hell are we? That's a good question. Okay, well, there's a chest over here. I guess we can go down here first. Is there... Is there a hit here? No. No more boxes.
What the?
Oh no, they broke it!
Looks like they were packing explosive charges. We'll need to find out the route.
I knew there was something in here. Nope, can't cut those. Oh yeah, if you run around as Sarah, she can slash and shoot. I mean, of course she can. Oh, right here. I see where we are. Oh, I thought she could shoot.
Okay.
Oh, wrong way. I
Here
wanted
they
to
come.
shoot the
Be
ring.
careful, everyone.
Leave it to me.
Oh yeah, she can do this. She has good magic too, by the way. She's technically a balanced character, but she kicks ass.
Yeah. Here. Of course.
Sorry if you want more playable Sarah.
Evil will fall
It's not
before
gonna
my
happen in
blade.
this game. Maybe in a later game we'll have more use for her, but not in this one. This is all you get. But, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. She's badass. Get a mine 3. Awesome.
Right. Go.
Give that to somebody. Give it to, Emma. Why not? No, probably, crates in here. Yep. We're finally back to the present.
The advantage is ours.
Here we go.
Oh.
Another chance.
And one for me. Hey,
Oh, needed to be... You know what? We'll just Flash first. Flash is awesome because it's a set one.
didn't see that coming.
The only problem with Flash is where she jumps and lands in that circle is somewhat random, so it'll slightly alter her position every time. Much like Gaius's jump one. It's not a big deal. It's still an amazing move.
Okay.
My turn.
I'll show off her S-Craft in
That's
the next
power
fight.
of the 8 leaves.
I mean, it's the only time I'll be able to show it to you.
enemies.
Here we go.
Let's see. Hits the whole battlefield, which makes it incredibly good. Now that's misdirect.
Let's see you live through this! Plasma storm!
Damn, that's good. And yeah, that just basically fully restored her HP and EP. Look, Sarah's amazing. I don't know what to tell you. You like how all the Link experience for everybody is +1? You do actually get Link experience for everyone, not just the people you are linked with. But it's so negligible, I wouldn't pay any attention to it.
I did it.
Even what you have linked is pretty negligible. It's not until Cold Steel 3 when they're like, oh, yeah, we should probably, like, quadruple that.
It seems this is a storage area.
Plenty of archaisms wandering around here, too.
Can I pick up the item, Milliam? 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 Thank you, Milliam.
The advantage is ours.
Go. Second form. Gale.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I should probably, equip, an accessory on,
No escape.
Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah. The battle's over. But stay alert, everyone.
I cast water magic, but they're dying too quickly. Emma's not getting a turn early enough. We can equip Sarah with things. Oh, she comes with an evergreen, which is fantastic, by the way. In fact, I can tell you right now what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, 66% evasion. It's even better on Fee. But I'm not going to do it now. You can keep that on for now. You know, why don't you get the Gladiator headband? She'll give us this stuff back, by the way. Like, she'll unequip all this stuff when she leaves the party, so don't worry about that. In later games in the arc, they will denote guest characters by fixing their
The
equipment
advantage is ours.
and orbments. But they usually give them really good stuff anyway, so it's not a huge deal.
My turn. Second form.
Like, they're more than good enough to be perfectly viable, even with fixed equipment. Can you hit the enemies?
Let's go, everyone.
You got it.
Understood.
This is our real power.
Oh yeah, did we just get bursts? Whatever, that's burst. It hits every enemy and murders them massively. It's fantastic, as you might imagine. It's basically a do you want to win button? Here, press it. But it costs 5 BP, so you can't like spam it, unfortunately.
Oh, a treasure chest.
Action 3, awesome. Give that to somebody. Let's see. Laura, you want an action 3? Answer. Of course you do. 98 speed for Laura. That's not bad. Yeah, we'll take that. Basically Team Rush from Crossbow Arc? Indeed, yes, that is what it is. It is the same thing, yeah, it's Team Rush. Except it hits the entire battlefield. It's not range limited, and you have control over when it happens. It's basically a better version of their Team Rush. I forgot they give it to you here. It's a thing for the rest of the series. Or the arc, I mean. How are we? Right here. This map is long. Not that the area is that long, just the map is pretty big. Because they make us go in this roundabout way. We can go up here, but I think the door is locked. Oh, we can actually go out there? Why would we want to, though? Is there a reason to go out here? Oh, that's an optional cutscene. I didn't know there was an optional cutscene. Why do you think they left it unattended? They set it to self-detonate. Thanks, Milliam. Nice shield you got there. What's the max level for Master Quirks? 5. They rigged it to blow when anybody got close to the thing. They must have another escape route. They obviously don't care about the airship. Depends on the game and in the arc. Cold Steel 1, Master Quartz max out at 5. I think in Cold Steel 2, I think it's 6. I think. Is it max? Yeah, it's max. It's 5. Now, I could switch him to something else to level it up, but... I mean, what would I want to level it anyway? You know, I want all the effects anyway. In Cold Steel 3, I think it's 7. And in Cold Steel 10, it's 10, which is insane, by the way. It takes forever to get to level 10. But yeah, for now it's 5. And no, they won't carry over to the next game.
Be careful, everyone.
So even though I've maxed that Master Quartz, it's not going to start at max level in the next game. Unfortunately.
Not half bad.
You say as you outdo us.
She's an A-rank bracer, dude. Of course she's going to outdo you.
There seems to be a treasure chest here.
Oh, flare bomb. They only gain experience if they're in your active, if you're actually equipped on somebody that is either in the party or in the support position. Unfortunately. That is unfortunate in this game, actually. Now, granted, since experience doesn't scale, feel free to change your Master Quartz around. It's no big deal. It's not like Azure.
The path to the right leads deeper into the fort. Let's keep moving.
In Azure, like if you were too high level, you were getting the way Master Quartz experience works is you get 1/3 of the amount of experience you get in the actual battle. There we go. There's the recipe. Gotta make sure you get that. It's missable. It's actually easily missable. But in Azure, it was based on the scaled experience. So if you were getting 1/3 of 1 experience point, you would get 1 experience point for your Master Quartz, which is incredibly stupid, frankly. And it doesn't work that way in New Game Plus. In New Game Plus on Azure, even if you're getting the scale experience of like 1 or 2 experience points, the Master Quartz is still based on 1/3 of whatever the non-scaled experience is. So whatever the base experience is. So if an enemy gives 2,000 experience base, you get 1/3 of that. And they decided to use that formula, thank God, for all of the Cold Steel games, even on a regular new game.
Didn't see that coming. No.
So, yeah, if you max a Master Quartz and you feel like you're wasting experience on it, which, I mean, you are
You
at
say
that
as
point,
you outdo us.
feel free to switch it. I mean, it's no big deal. Like, I won't be penalized if I go and put Wing on. Wing will still get the full experience that it would get per battle. And it would get to level 3 or 4 probably pretty quickly.
I did it.
It probably would get to level 3 by the end of this area. But I just don't like Wing that much in this game. Forte is just one of the best Master Quartz in the game. Yeah, that's Vanish. I don't know why there's a Vanish Ornament. You would think it would be insanely good, but sadly it's not as good as you think it is. It inflicts the Vanish status, and it's like a 10% chance. I think it's 10%. It sucks because it doesn't stack with anything. It does give you some strength, but whoop-de-doo. There's no skill that causes Vanish, that's the problem.
That door near it looks like it leads outside.
Like, the reason why Suzaku is pretty good on,
Probably an external corridor. Everyone, follow me.
On Reen is because he already inflicts seals, so, you know, it adds that 10% to Gale, so it's 60%. And it adds 10% to Burn here, which is 110%. So that's good, that's useful. Vanish? There's no craft that inflicts Vanish, so it's completely worthless. On top of which, a ton of enemies are immune to it. Basically, every enemy you would care to Vanish is immune to it. Sadly. It's probably the most useless status element in the game. Probably the most useless status element in the arc. It's really only useful when it comes up on a turn order, and even then, 90% of the time, the enemy's immune to it. This is going to be unpleasant. Who has more water spells? We gotta fight those robots again, obviously. Eustace does. Let's bring Eustace in. He's got a water bell too, so that'll help. Man, I never really used Eustace this much before. He's pretty good. Actually, no. Let's give him a water bell over the fire bell. He doesn't actually have a water bell. Do we have a water bell? No, we do. Okay. There we go. And let's give him a fire bell here. He's got more fire spells than he does wind spells. Yeah. So yeah, we're officially at the end of the prologue again. Actually seeing from the other side of Crossbow. We've seen this view from the other side, but now we're seeing it from, you know, this side.
This must be
which is cool.
really a canyon. You can see Crossbell State on the other side.
There!
Man, those things are terrifying. The fact that they don't have a failsafe on these things is just incredibly baffling and incredibly incompetent. But it makes sense given the kind of arrogance Erebonia's military has shown.
Those are...
I mean, think about it. They hooked up their rail cannons and all the, their inventory system to a new orbital net with no protection.
The railway guns.
Wow.
They're enormous.
They sure are.
Damn. How did they manage to get them prepped so fast?
They planned
Don't
this.
tell me they're just gonna let them rip without even setting a target.
They don't need to set a target. The thing has a massive blast radius.
Instructor!
It'll level buildings. They could destroy the entire city in like an hour.
Are these control unit archaisms?
Well, they're certainly not shy about bringing out the big guns.
Ugh, we don't have time for this. We need to take these things out fast.
Think of them like tactical nukes without the
Right there with
radiation.
Let's send these cretins to the scrap heap. I welcome all challengers.
My turn.
Laura, did you really just trash talk a robot? I mean, sure. We'll send them to the scrap heap. Why not? Why not? They're weak to earth? Oh, god damn it. I thought for sure they'd be weak to water. You guys are like the one robot that's not weak to freaking water. Well, in that case, Emma's coming back on.
I'm bringing the thunder now.
Might as well use lightning charge. It's good. Hold off, you know. Let's see, you don't have any. Nope. I think Emma, however, has Grand Press. Yep.
Of course.
Oh, that hurt.
No escape.
Trust me, that Grand Press is hitting them, even though it doesn't look like it is.
Here we go.
Oh, one of the problems with this fight is these guys cheat, and I hate them. They instant cast that stupid spell, and that it hurts a lot. And yeah, it's not good. These guys are much harder now than they were in the prologue.
Thank you very much.
They have a ton of health too.
Okay.
And they hit really bad. We need to change our formation here a little bit. We need to spread out a little bit. Or we can use
Thank you very much.
Crescent, whatever it's called. Emma's reflection
Leave it
thing.
to me.
That would help as well. I need to get out of a line here.
My turn.
Also, Laura should go over here, because she has a line.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Or Rean can die. That's cool. I didn't want Rean alive. It's no big deal.
Hear me.
Thanks.
My
It's no
turn.
big deal. Rean doesn't need to live.
Didn't see that coming.
Of course.
Yeah, you see, it puts Sarah in a... That's actually a fight where that's not a good thing. I probably
Leave it
should
to
not
me.
use that again. It's actually bad.
Leave it to me.
It's actually really bad. Wow, you don't have a heal. Let's just use Thunder Roar then.
Okay.
These guys are not pleasant to fight. Trying to think here.
Orcus, activate.
We'll do that for now.
My turn.
You move, will you get a turn? No.
My turn.
Earth Cleaver is the way to go.
Thank you very much. Now.
No, you
I-
don't.
Oh yeah, they have that shockwave blast, and that thing sucks. Because it can
Leave it
seal
to me.
you, and it hits everybody, and I don't like it. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
My turn.
Let's see. Go ahead and...
My turn.
We're gonna do that.
Hey.
We're gonna do this.
Behold the might of the
The quicker we kill one of them, the better. It's actually a hard boss fight.
Radiant blade dance.
Not as hard as the next boss fight, I can tell you that. We might actually die to that one.
You have my thanks.
Really,
It's my
I'm
turn.
not kidding. I might actually die to that boss fight. Even knowing what I'm doing.
Now.
And I want to give somebody Holy
Leave it
Breath
to
for
me.
that. Especially if I intend to show you the S breath. Ah. The reason why this hurts so much is because this is like the ultimate Earth spell. That's probably gonna kill Emma.
Of course.
Nope, didn't. You're lucky.
Shatter. Off guard.
For some reason, there are some enemies that can just instant
I can do
cast
this.
specifically that Earth spell, and I don't know why it's that Earth spell, but it's always that Earth spell for some really weird reason. Crescent Shell is the other way you can handle this fight, but...
Hear me.
Well,
Okay.
I didn't use it. It is good, though.
My turn.
I just chose not to use it.
My turn.
What should we do here? Oh, crap. Reen is petrified. Oh. That sucks. I care more about Emma than I do Reen. Petrification will never wear off, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Reen got one shot because he was petrified.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I don't care that he lost all that CP because he has he has the Forte,
Thanks.
the Force Master Course.
Leave it
so
to me.
he gets CP back so quickly. I really couldn't care less.
Of course.
I think she has
Thank you very much.
a double heal, I think. Ow.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy is obnoxious. Now we can use Flash.
Didn't see that coming. I can do this.
Well, it depends on your definition of do this.
My turn.
You mean die horribly, sure.
Right.
Off guard.
I'll help. Yeah.
There we go.
Battle's over. But
Yeah,
stay
that
alert,
is
everyone.
a tough boss fight. Spreading out helps.
Not bad.
Nice.
Of course, the downside is then you can't use as many buffs. You could also use defense buffs. That helps too.
A self-destruct mechanism. Does their cowardice know no bounds?
I'm surprised Milliam didn't put up her shield there. Usually they
We're
would
running
do
out of
that.
time. I'm gonna go on ahead.
Why?
Follow me as soon as you're sure it's safe to.
Alert. Alright, cool. You know, this would probably be tension-filled if we didn't know that Orcus Tower doesn't get nuked. So, yeah. Like, we know this obviously fails.
Railway guns.
Unless there's, like, some weird alternate dimension
Oh,
thing
no,
going on.
no.
No. Don't.
Quick, turn into a Super Saiyan. That'll stop the railway cannons. Okay, Rain. Honestly, if it killed Osborne, that would probably be the one good thing that came out of it. Olivia and Toa, yeah, that would suck. Osborne? Nah, you should throw a celebration for that. So are you ready for the dumbest explanation as to why that didn't work? Are you ready? I don't think you are, because it's really dumb.
What? They didn't launch anything.
They just didn't fire.
Oh, maybe the first bullet in each of the railway guns is a blank to prevent firing accidents.
They load a blank. So instead of having a failsafe where they just become inoperable, for whatever reason, they load a blank in. Instead of doing the more obvious thing of just creating a lockout system.
What?
They developed blanks for what is effectively a tactical nuclear missile. Why would you do such a thing?
They do that?
That is a weird
Sure
explanation.
seems that way. And now that they fired once, it's gonna take some time before they're ready to fire again.
Also, how dumb are the terrorists that they didn't bother to check that? They literally hacked the system.
Then if we can reach them before
How did they not know that?
Yeah. There's no way we're going to let them get off a second shot.
So here's the theory, and this is the evidence that people use. Kia changed them to blanks because Lloyd is in Orcus Tower, and Ellie and Tio and Randy, and Wazzy, and Noelle. So she changed it to a blank to save them with her causality powers. I don't buy that. Oh, I want to go back to the save point to heal up. And it's not... And basically because even if you explain it that way, it still doesn't make sense. Like, remember in Azure, like, the whole thing with Zero was that, let's see, somebody wants a holy breath. Let's give it to you. I don't have holy breath. Ew. Well, I'm not gonna use Judgment Bolt. Let's just give you breath then. Probably buy a holy breath. Kia has confusion as to how a guy works in Fate series. I don't know. Basically, Kia has the ability to rewind time in essence, and then alter the flow of time in a way so that events transpire slightly differently. In, you know, Azure, or in Zero, in the original timeline, like Lloyd and Code die, right? And then she changes the timeline so that they help Ren more thoroughly during the whole Colin thing, and then through Ren, they befriend Estelle and Josh. Through Estelle and Josh, Ren saves them against Joachim, and so on and so forth. What does Milliam and Crow have to do with stopping this? They're not the ones that loaded the blanks. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, them being here doesn't affect this event in any way.
We have the advantage.
So, yeah, there is clearly no time travel shenanigans going on here. They were just randomly hiding the fact that those two characters are party members.
My turn.
And, not gonna lie, it's much less interesting than what they did in Azure.
Didn't see that.
It seems like it's just a reference to Azure and kind of a pointless one,
Evil
frankly.
will fall before my blade.
Versus causalities instead of the rest of the spirit without being hurt, being pierced. And if you don't believe me now, well, let's just say they still do this whole in media res thing in the second half of this arc, and it'll make even less sense there because Kia doesn't have her powers anymore.
Oh, a treasure chest.
So, yeah, and they still randomly hide a party member from you in that game. Inexplicably. And it's a party member that you've literally already had in your party before anyway, and it's not a surprise in any way, shape, or form, so... Yeah, I don't know why they like doing that. It was cool in Zero, mainly because, like, they were the main characters in the previous arc, Josh and Estelle.
This is our real power.
And then they did something with it plot-wise that was super cool. In Cold Steel, they do nothing with it. At all. I think it's just a reference, but not a particularly interesting or good one. Deep Ocher, that is... Why don't you have a full thing there? Red Seal and Mute. Oh, that is going to go on Milliam for sure. That is basically perfect for her. She should have that for the rest of the game. Speaking of Milliam, come on in, girl.
Here we go.
Leave it to me. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give her a nice Milliam. Why not? Where the hell do we go? Over here. Oh, right, you can move with, during the attack animation with, Milliam. You don't have to wait for it to complete. I just always forget that, because that's unique to her, actually.
Okay.
Her field attack is arguably the best in the game. In fact, I would argue it is the best in the game.
My turn.
It is slower than Reen's, so that's the one thing you gotta watch out for. But as long as you get used to the timing, it is awesome, because you can stun from the front, you can move while attacking. You can't move while it's punching forward, but once it stops and starts pulling back, you can move. and it's awesome. The only downside is, you know, it kind of gets in the way of the camera. But you can just do this. You can, like, move the camera a little bit. It's not a huge deal. In later games, they stop having it follow you like this. And if it really bothers you, you can just do this.
Leave it to me. Okay, my turn.
And then it'll go away.
Here we go.
Like that.
My turn.
Yeah, here I go.
To work around that.
Oh, a treasure chest.
Orange cape. What does that do? Some status thing, I believe. Prevents faint? Sure, why not? Where the hell are we? No, we're all the way down here. Go up here.
We have the advantage.
Go.
It's probably not the best field attack in the arc, because there's one character that has just an absurd field attack. It's basically like Millions, but long range. It's nuts.
My turn.
But that's not in this game.
Didn't see that coming. Here I go.
Also, don't get used to Reen's super good, stunning field attack. They nerf it heavily going forward.
That should suffice.
Like, once we get done with Cold Steel 1, we basically won't be able to do it anymore unless you have crackerjack timing. Like, you can do it, but it is
Another
difficult.
storage area.
You gotta be frame perfect.
Looks like we hang a left if we want to go through.
They basically add lag time to it, to the swing. So, yeah, it's closer to, like, Eustace's swing than it is his swing in this game. Reen's swing. I don't like how they're getting on this solid there. It's weird. Yeah, okay. That's what we want. I think it's a Hellfire. I think it's a Master Quartz. Or no, I think it's a like a super rare quartz. Okay, this fight sucks. Screw this fight. Let's use 100 S breaks, I think. 50 or 100, I forget, but one of the two. That's what that trophy is.
Well, that's that. Let's get going.
Best S-Craft in the game. It's not Sarah's.
I feel like
Don't
I'm
care what
going
anybody
strong.
says. Milliam is amazing. She is fantastic. It helps that I like tanks too. And she's the only one that can really do good face tanking, so. Look at her defense stat compared to everybody else. Like, it's nuts. 800. Nobody else even has 800. Sarah's the closest, and Sarah's just overpowered as hell. And she has insane mana defense. Like, she's got as much mana defense as a mage does. Almost as much as Emma. Emma's got a little bit more, but that's about it. She's nuts. It's noticeable, too. Like, she takes a noticeable less damage. Oh, yeah. I should look at the Hellfire. Probably should go on Emma. She's got a good slot for it. Flame Tongue, Volcanic Rain, and Flare Bomb. It's good. Give it to Emma. It's almost tailor-made for her grid. I'll probably leave it on her for like the rest of the game. At least when she's around. I don't know how that didn't hit him. That's weird.
Okay.
Here we go.
Wonder how much damage,
Too slow.
It's my turn. Here, this is it. Gotcha. Yes, sir. Now.
Milliam has decent range, dude.
Down you go.
Okay. Yeah. Burning daylight.
We're burning daylight, huh? I guess. Oh, by the way, so you remember how good spin to win is? Oh, well, this
We
is not
have
the right room.
advantage.
Hold on a second while I kill these
Leave
guys.
it to me. Yeah. Here I go. Now's our chance. I'll help. Down you go. We won, Emma. We won. Well done.
I love how excited Milliam
bad.
gets. Just got flare bomb, found him. Quits 5 minutes later. Yeah, I know. I know. Happens all the time. What's even funnier is when they give you the combined courts first, and then the worse single version of whatever spell it is. I was like stuck on Ergetlem there. If that ever does happen, don't worry about it. You can just cancel out of it, or you just switch party members. You can never truly get stuck. So.
Now's our chance. Let's get him. Go.
Okay. Here I go. It's my turn. Here.
My turn.
My turn.
Lights out for them.
Good work.
Happens all the time. Some of the loot distribution is kind of questionable. Like, I think we got Harvest before we got what is it there? Grand Press. And Harvest is basically a better version of Grand Press. This has Grand Press on it along with the whatever the Earth Regeneration spell is. And La Crest. Like, why wouldn't I use that over just a single one?
Here they come.
Kinda weird.
Focused, class.
Like, maybe in the future games when everybody's gonna be around all the time,
It's my turn.
but not in this game when the party formation is so limited
My turn.
for like 90% of the game. They basically give you, you know, 5 or 6 party members. It's like, these are the ones you got. You don't like it? Tough. And it's like, okay. Kind of odd. But we'll have more freedom going forward once we get into the next game.
Here's our chance. Don't mess it up.
Here we go.
I would not recommend neglecting party members, though. Because there are, like, split party sections and stuff in this arc. And it becomes more and more prevalent as the arc goes on. So you will be expected to use everyone. So I usually equip everybody. I mean, yeah, you could, if you care to take the time to optimize every single party member that you're using, then sure, you can move stuff around. And then, you know, equip everybody when you're doing multi-party sections, but I prefer to just give everybody a setup. You get more than enough Sepith to allocate
treasure
and
chest.
honestly max out not every slot, but almost every slot. Like, more than you could ever possibly need. The arc is very generous with that stuff.
Go.
It's generous to you materials too, like, and you don't need to have, you know, equipment upgraded constantly.
Second form. Yeah. Now's our chance.
And one for me. Leave it to me.
So, you know, I mean, I haven't upgraded everybody's weapon in every chapter, and they've been fine.
Didn't see that coming.
Unless you're playing on Nightmare mode, then okay, yeah, you got to be more careful with that stuff, or farm some Sepith to hand in.
Not bad, kids.
A matter of course.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll have to plan your upgrades more carefully. So, yeah. Are you ready to really spend to win? I don't think you are. Because this is incredibly overpowered. We just got Domination. The best courts in the game. For physical attackers, anyway. There is a magic equivalent that's equally good. Oh look! The first attack and craft used in each battle deals double damage. That doesn't sound that overpowered. Yeah. It is unbelievably overpowered. I will show you why in about 30 seconds.
This is the freight platform. We finally made it to the other side.
As soon as I open this chest.
We've got to be close. Just need to head up that staircase over there.
This is a shield 3, which I guess I could give to somebody.
There seems to be a treasure chest.
Yeah, shut up, guys. I know. There's a chest. It smells like the wind. I got it, dude. Seems kind of weird that you like the wind that much, but teach their own, buddy. Teach their own. Screw shield 3. I might give it to Millium at some point, but, well, actually, can I give it to you, Millium? It would be decent for you. I could drop Earth Pulse. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll go full tank. I don't think she really needs Earth Pulse at this point. She shouldn't be taking much damage. Where did I come in? Am I supposed to be able to cross the tracks? Is this where I came in? I got distracted. Yeah, that's where I came in. I guess we don't loop around? Isn't there a chest on the other side? Yeah, maybe not. Thinking of Crossbell, probably. No, there isn't. There's nothing else there. Okay. That was the last chest then, the shield 3.
Bring it on! Go!
Alright.
Okay.
Get to Laura's turn.
It's my turn.
My turn.
So these guys have 3,000 HP. Excuse me while I spin.
No escape.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you take double your max
Before my
HP?
blade.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you like that because Laura's gonna do that for the rest of the game. Would you believe that only becomes more powerful as the arc goes on? Yeah. You think that one's good? Wait till we get the magic version of that. Holy cow. And yes, that works on your S-Craft. It's very easy for Laura to damage cap her S-Craft. In fact, the only reason she won't one-shot some bosses is because A, I'm going to avoid doing that because it's super overpowered, but B, there's a damage cap in Cold Steel 1 of 49,990. I don't know why it's that random number, but it is. They remove it in the future games. Get into the menu for a reason, and I totally forgot. Oh well, probably wasn't that important. Oh, I wanted to give her Gladiator. Oh, she has a Gladiator belt. Okay, good. She's set then. That also works remarkably well on... Did I just go backwards? Yeah, I did. That also works really well on Fee. Because her S-Craft is extremely powerful.
Sarah here. Yeah, we're almost to the railway
And
gun.
Millium, too.
Yeah, may Adios be with us both.
Is Group B almost there?
This
Because
is
of her
it. So
S-Craft.
get ready.
Understood.
That last text box was a little screwed up there. Alright, I want to get Holy Breath because this next boss fight is hard. Probably the third or fourth hardest boss in the game. It's up there. It's in the top 5, I'd say. We're gonna want Holy Breath for sure. Laura. We'll start with Laura and then bring in Milliam probably for the defense and survivability. Of course, I might want actually to have, instead of shield, maybe an HP 3. Do I have an HP 3? No. Can I buy an HP 3? I have a feeling no. Not until after this. Well, I'll get an HP 2. Yeah. Milliam could use the HP. Adamantine shield might also be a good idea. Yeah, I'll drop action 2 for it. It's a good idea. And maybe buy an action 3 to make up for that. I mean, what else am I going to spend this Sepith on? Let's be honest here. Not a hell of a lot. Action 3. There we go. Rest up. Stack a bunch of buffs on Laura, or the character with a head full. Yeah, basically. Laura's really strong. She is really, really strong. He's one of the stronger characters in the arc. Yeah, for once a character that, you know, they tell us is powerful is actually powerful in gameplay. So is Fee, by the way. Like, the 2 characters they tell us are the strongest. The only one that doesn't apply to is Crow, who is, like, weaker uses for some reason. Although I've set him up to be pretty badass, but... I mean, I could give his criminal master courts over to somebody that's much better than him, and they would do better than him. But that's okay. It works.
There's one of them.
Right, so here are the
these are the railway guns.
It's gigantic.
And they intend to turn this on a city full of hundreds of thousands of innocent people.
That is pretty damn monstrous. All to kill one man. Granted, that one man is the most dangerous man in the entire continent. Still, pretty horrific.
Who the hell are you? Are you those kids from the military academy? Stay away from the railway gun.
Stay away from the summoner. Oh yeah, we gotta fight the terrorists first. It's not the same without Gideon though, wearing that outfit. Ozzy doesn't believe in too much collateral. You're actually not wrong.
Enough from you. We need to take them down as quickly as possible. You messed with the wrong teacher.
He is a I'll achieve my goal no matter the cost kind of mentality.
Leave it to me.
Oh, the domination quartz only affects Laura, and it only affects her first attack, her first craft or attack, physical attack. So if she uses an item, for example, that will not trigger it. So you don't waste it. It's not like a power charge thing that goes away. It's a one-time thing per battle at the beginning of battle for her first actual attack. I really don't want to waste MP here, EP here, whatever. I'm gonna have her waste her turn. Yeah, these guys burn me. They're annoying, but I have a plan for these guys.
All right, let's do this.
You want to see the plan? Here, I'll show you the plan.
Of course.
This is the plan. Goodbye. These guys aren't the boss, so. Ah, Laura. I love you, girl. Not as much as Fee, but I still love you.
Okay.
Go.
to me.
Of course.
Wow.
My turn. Orcus, activate. Huh.
Okay. Now.
And open.
Damn.
Evil will fall before
Haha. Yeah, that's not the boss fight, so. Nuking those guys, yeah, who cares?
Making progress.
I know, I did. Sarah actually probably would have been better with that here, but Sarah's only available for this one part, so.
No.
Millium can also do very good with that, and Gigant Breaker is just so powerful, and Fee too is really good with it.
This isn't the first time I've crossed swords with the Imperial Liberation Front.
But Laura is quite good.
They don't seem really strong, just really obstinate. What would push them to go this far?
Yeah, they're just normal
We can
people.
discuss that later.
Gee, I don't know. Maybe the fact that Osborn's a monster.
Right. We need to stop the railway
Just
gun
imagine. Remember, this is a guy that looked at Gideon and said, "Oh, you're gonna criticize me. I'm gonna get you fired from your job." Yeah. Imagine what he did to all the other people.
Get back.
I don't know if you noticed that about the sword. I noticed it.
It would have been smarter to stay away, S.
I'm impressed you saw me coming, Purple Lightning. I see the rumors about you weren't just trumped-up stories.
I love a good compliment, but getting one from a terrorist just doesn't put a spring in my step.
You can kinda tell if you look closely at that sword.
Still, I suppose the fact you're here means the other ringleaders must be over at the other gun.
But it'll become very clear once she nukes me.
V certainly is. As for Gideon, I'm sorry to say he lost his life in Crossbell a short while ago.
Yeah, he's dead. Red Constellation just killed him. But people don't die in Trails, remember.
He did?
So he probably just put some ketchup on himself or something.
I just received a call about it a few minutes ago.
Pay no attention to the fact that we literally saw him brutally murdered on screen in the previous game.
Apparently, he was killed by a real top-rate Jaeger Corps hired by your
God,
friend,
that's such a
the
stupid
Blood and
complaint.
Iron Chancellor. Poor guy. I heard it was practically a massacre.
Oh, it was. They all died but one.
What a terrible way to go.
Well, Gramps isn't exactly known for his bountiful sense of mercy.
I love you, Milliam, but my God, you say stupid things sometimes.
If you don't want to die like a dog, don't run around snapping your fangs at everyone.
Oh, useless dude. I like you, but that line's not gonna age well.
You keep talking like this has nothing to do with you, but I take it you've got no intention of beating a retreat. Sounds like you've got the railway gun set to automatic firing mode too.
I like how smart the villains are. If you haven't caught on to what Scarlet's doing here, or S, she's talking with us to buy time for the railway cannon to reload. If you actually hear in the background, that's the reloading sound.
I was wondering what that sound was.
Yeah. She was trying to delay us by literally chatting us to death.
It was loading another round!
Oh, I was hoping you'd miss it in all your babbling.
That was her plan, yeah. She didn't want to actually fight us.
It's got, 10 minutes or so to go.
She was hoping to talk for 10 minutes.
Conniving witch.
Ouch,
You can let us past, or we're going to force our way through. Your choice.
Luckily, Sarah's observant and noticed.
Careful. She's a dangerous one to tangle with.
But that is smart, though. Like,
And she's hiding something.
Right again.
yep, she's got
Damn.
robots with her.
Giant archaisms!
This is a hard fight.
Ooh, just my color, too.
Yeah, I know. You're
For
S.
borrowed muscle, I've really taken a liking to them.
Yeah, her name is Scarlet. Sorry, I spoiled that like 5 seconds in advance. My bad.
Gideon might have fallen, but it's not too late to send the Chancellor to join him on his way to Gehenna.
How about you go instead?
Laura,
Crossbell's counting on us.
how about you go
Strike
instead?
with everything you've got.
Let's rock!
Scarlet's not a pushover.
Think you can satisfy me, little kittens?
Leave
Also,
it to me.
she's kind of a dominatrix. She might kill me with her S-craft. I don't know. Laura, boots go over the knee.
Go!
Yeah, they do. So the thing is, Scarlet can inflict burn, and she has a really, really brutal S-craft that hits everybody, and it sucks.
Okay.
We need to. Well, let's buffer
Shield us
damage.
from harm. Crescent shot.
Right now, it would probably one-shot everybody in the party.
Right.
I think it deals about 6,000-ish HP, so we're gonna need to take care of that. I want to try to get as much damage as possible on the first turn. There we go. I got lucky to feint her right away. Feint helps. Yeah, we're basically fighting the boss we just fought, plus Scarlet. This fight is unpleasant, to say the least.
Here we go.
Another problem is these guys lower your defense. And these robots have a lot of health. Scarlet has a lot of health too. Use her limit break to deal her 4k damage. Yeah, I know.
Thanks.
Thank you very
For
much.
my wrath and freaking violence too. There it is. So that's a Templar sword. Yep, Scarlet has a church weapon somehow. Feel free to speculate on that.
My turn.
Alright, we're gonna focus on one.
Yeah.
I think... No weakness. You'd think Scarlet would be like weak to water, but no, she is not. Sadly. I would use that, but I don't think it's gonna work out too well for us. Scarlet might move.
Bring it on.
Well, first of all, let's try to see if I use lightning charge. No. Now I gotta use a Tyrol bomb.
Yeah.
I tried my best off screen to fight Poltergeist fair and square. It is nearly impossible. The only way I could do it is I had to nuke him before he killed me. I could do it just barely, but like I have a video on it. But it's really not a well-balanced fight, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a well-balanced fight. The super bosses in Modern Arms 2 are... they're poorly designed. A Dom with a whip sword has been shown so many times.
How about this?
The funny thing is, they really don't, like... they don't really play up her, dominatrix thing, like, at all. It's just the voice that makes it sound that way, but it really doesn't do much.
I'm bringing the thunder now. Ah!
Right.
Okay. You got an impede? No. Oh, why don't you use Radiant Wings?
Here we go.
You use Tyrol on... can you survive that? Yes, because you have Reflect. Oh, you don't reflect your own magic, by the way. Yeah, she's got Judgment Bolt. It hurts. It really hurts. But it should do some good damage back to her. Or something back to her.
You have my thanks.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Ariel because it doesn't cost that much.
Orcus, activate now.
Leave it to me.
Son of a bitch. Hate that attack. I knew that was gonna kill Emma too.
Go.
Unfortunately, Crescent Shell doesn't work on Emma in this game. I think it does in the next game, but it doesn't in this one.
Thank you very much.
It's the one downside of that attack.
My turn.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and use your S-Craft. Guess the trope I hit a lot in games with put her in a screenshot bikini. I mean, I like Templar swords and whip swords. It's kind of really a strange weapon concept. Totally not a feasible weapon in real life.
Right.
What's she at? Okay, yep. We need to be extremely careful now. Because she is going to nuke me at some point soon. Yeah. Stay full.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
My turn.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to Crescent Shell. Nope, I cannot Crescent Shell. Give the crest. The crest.
Of course.
In fact, you go get into the Lacrest too.
Now.
I do not want you healing. Thank you very much.
Flames, gather on my blade.
Persona 5 didn't pop up in any range while the talking goes on during normal battle. Never seen a shit.
How about this?
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really talk very much in Trails. Do you have an impede? No. I don't know what she's doing there, but I'm gonna move out of this.
Right.
Oh, good. It's on Sarah, actually. That's not bad.
My turn.
Okay. Orcus, activate.
Here you go.
Oh, it's Grim Butterfly. That sucks. That's gonna hurt. That is going to hurt. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was supposed to, like,
Aren't you
4K.
feisty?
She's gonna ask Craft.
That lasts.
Anytime they do that little quote when they're halfway dead, they're going to ask Craft,
My turn.
and it's not gonna be good. So yeah, that's just the thing you gotta be aware of. So she's gonna ask Craft for sure.
How about this?
Oh nope, she didn't ask Craft yet.
Right.
She's gonna be close to S-Crafting, I can tell you that. Usually they just S-Craft immediately.
Here we go. There.
I'm gonna interrupt her though.
My turn.
Okay.
I would like to get the Crescent Shell. She's got the list HP.
Oh,
Here,
Moon, shield
do
us
it
from
on
harm.
Sarah. Sarah needs to be pumped up.
Hope you like pain.
See ya.
Oh, let's Fire Slash. God damn it. I'm trying to withstand her S-Craft, but
My turn.
I'm very concerned that it's about to happen.
Leave it to me.
Didn't see that coming. Do it.
How about this?
Okay.
Here we go. There.
Not gonna do it.
It's my turn.
I'd like to get the crest off.
My turn.
Now.
Sarah has a bit more HP, so I'm not overly concerned about that. There it is. It's like Reese's thing. Yeah, it's literally the Sparrow, Infinity Sparrows. Yeah, that was 5,000 damage, and yeah, that one-shot Emma and burned my entire party. Oh, that's what it does. That nearly one-shot Reen. Yeah, if you're playing on Nightmare and you don't block that, hope you like Game Over, because that's what's happening. Adamantine Guard is not optional. You have to block her S-Craft on the higher difficulties, or it is Game Over. You can barely survive it on normal. It is not the most dangerous S-Craft in the game.
Leave it to me.
Believe it or not, that's only the second most dangerous S-Craft in the game. There is another one that's not quite as big an AoE, but it deals... Oof, it's got a large AoE. And, I don't think you're surviving it. It's closer to 8k. That's what killed Liz when she fought this boss. The entire party died. They all had about 5,000 HP. It wasn't enough.
This could be bad.
And yes, she can do it again if she wants, but not for a while. It's got quite a long cooldown, so the idea is to take her out before she does it again. I need to survive this. That's why I was being so careful. I knew it was coming. If you don't know that's coming, it will kill you.
Okay. Here goes.
Do me a favor and don't kill,
Okay.
Laura. Okay, now we can... No, let's go Phantophobia. Yeah, whoa indeed. It is
You have my thing.
dangerous.
Thank you very much.
Here we go.
Man, you think, that would be stronger.
Of course.
Oh, I meant to impede that, but that's okay. That's alright.
Now.
Here you go.
I think we'll survive. Unless it instantly KOs me, which I think it can do.
My turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Behold the might of the Arcade School.
She's sleeping, so we're getting we get guaranteed crits.
How humiliating.
Yeah. There we go.
Evil will fall before my blade.
Although I think if she would have woken up on the first one, but I figured it would finish her off. I didn't want to take that as craft again. She usually only does it once.
I've only
but
just
she
begun.
can do it again if you take too long.
I'm awesome.
That should suffice.
In later games, they give you more fair warning for S-crafts. Although not always, but usually.
No.
Yeah, we actually beat her, by the way. No bullshit or anything, we just win. To be fair, it's implied we only won because Sarah was here. She probably kicks our ass otherwise. Same over here, they beat Vulcan, but they beat him because Nightheart was helping them.
Deactivated.
And no, we don't do the Vulcan boss fight, they just went off screen.
Thank goodness.
Should have been a split party section, but that's alright.
Ah, you got me. Shouldn't have expected any less from the ace of the 4th Armored Division. Or from Sylphid.
Yeah, he definitely knows Faye.
The rest of you weren't half bad either.
I can't believe you could take on this many of us at once.
You are one tough old bear.
Neidhart here. We've regained control of the left railway gun.
That's good.
And we've deactivated the right wing's railway gun over here. Good work.
Yeah, we did good.
We did it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Alright,
My.
time to just arrest them.
You can hardly call our crossing paths coincidence at this point. Oh well, no matter. Everything played out just like C said it would, both here and in Crossbell.
What, you knew you were gonna fail?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Comrade S.
What?
The hell
How can they still move?
How can they still move?
We'd completely incapacitated them.
Go, Comrade S.
It's their strength of will.
Regroup with Comrades C and V and bring the hammer down once and for all!
Because they're so devoted to their cause.
That's the plan. Well, I'll catch you all in the great beyond.
What? No!
She wouldn't.
You have a grappling? No way, she probably just used her Templar sword to wrap around it, huh? Or maybe she does have a grappling hook. Feel like it's time for some ham. Man, you guys can't hit the broadside of a barn. Oh yeah, they had another airship. Need some hit accuracy ornaments there.
My name is C.
Uh-oh.
Leader of the Imperial Liberation Front.
Yeah, he's the main villain.
Allow me to extend my congratulations. You did well, fending off our two-pronged attack here and in Crossbell.
Well, that was Lloyd, but sure.
But you would be foolish to assume this is the end of it.
Well, G's dead.
The hammer of judgment shall fall again. I'm ready.
No, but I take it we don't have a choice. Well, see you later. See? Whoever the hell that guy is. He's some freak in a mask.
How can this be?
I know what you should do, Walter. You should nuke Crossbell. That'll solve the problem.
So this is the Imperial Liberation Front. They're even more brazen than I'd heard.
Well, they are the antagonists of the first game, so, you know. It's still cool that they were introduced in the previous game, and you see them in this game, and you're like, oh.
So C was here after all.
Yeah. So C was here.
Who is he anyway? What's he hiding?
Yeah, why the mask?
Even the intelligence division's drawing a blank trying to gather info on him.
That's weird.
At least this time we managed to capture some of them alive.
Well, they can tell us who he is.
And they will talk.
Or they'll die.
What the hell?
You know, maybe you should have restrained them.
Is this poison?
Yeah, they basically bit cyanide pills, if you didn't understand what just happened. And Scarlet literally told them she'd see them in the great beyond, so yeah, they were planning to kill themselves. They are that justified, or that devoted to their cause.
Looks like these guys all swallowed neurotoxin capsules. I don't think we're gonna be able to save them.
Yeah, they had death pills on their teeth, basically.
I doubt it'll work, but I'm gonna try to neutralize the poison.
Good luck with that. I think they're dead.
Emma, if you got any herbs you think might help, give me a hand here.
Of course.
Why? Because she has a healing craft, I guess. The other ones took it too.
Not sure. I'd give them 50-50 maybe.
Maybe.
Even if we can keep them alive, there's no guarantee they'll regain consciousness. No!
Yeah, they're done for.
Why would they go this far?
Marcus, do you want me to answer that question? Have you seen the man your dad works for?
These are the kinds of people we're dealing with.
I mean, I like your dad, dude, but...
Some quick thinking, hard fighting, and a little luck, we were able to stop a potentially devastating terrorist attack in its tracks.
Kind of a bastard.
But with the political climate as it was, this incident, overshadowed by the crisis in Crossbell, was never made public.
Hence why we never heard about it during the Crossbell arc, because you would think we would have, given it was literally the second half of the same terrorist attack we stopped.
In the days that followed, we still felt shaken. Our eyes newly opened to the dangers facing our homeland,
Osborn hid
both
it.
outside and within.
And the rest of the Imperial government. The end of the chapter.
Keep up the good work. Perfect! You guys are the best!
Damn straight. Oh, yeah, we maxed out the Bond experience. By the way, even though, oh no, that's correct, yeah. It maxes out at 5250. Why that specific number? I don't know. I mean, you can still keep getting more, but there's no point. That also will unlock Elliot's final bonding event, by the way, later in the game. Assuming we do his, next thing. She's only at 2,400. She needs 3,500. And she'll actually be a little short, even with her final events. So we might have to give her a ticket later. But that's okay. Sarah is a little short as well. She needs 4,400. But I think the last bonding event gives you 1,000, so she should be fine. No, Elliot will die for you. Oh, God. So, there we go. Yeah, it's Crow and Milliam need 3,500. Every other Class 7 member except for Crow and Milliam needs 5,250. Sarah needs 4,400, and Toa needs 2,000, and Toa's is not displayed at all, so... I think if you do all of her events, she has 1,800, so you need to give her a ticket. I'll double check that later, but I'm pretty sure that she's a little short. We should be fine though. We're pretty close. I don't think we've gotten a gift for Milliam at all either.
Half a month after the incident at Corellia Fortress, a sense of lingering unease still hung over the Empire.
Yeah, a lot of time goes by in the first game. It's kind of strange.
The government increased patrols by the Railway Military Police as part of their counter-terrorism measures.
The other games are much quicker.
While the Noble faction bolstered their provincial armies, there were even rumors that they'd hired several Jaeger corps.
That's not good.
At the center of everything was the Imperial Liberation Front.
Yeah, the plot's finally picking up.
They had allied with a terrorist group from the Republic of Calvert to attack the trade conference in Crossbell.
I mean, granted, I liked the stuff before. I like all the world building, but, you know, to each their own. Some people think it's too slow for them, and that's fair enough, I guess, but I love the world building personally.
And as we'd seen firsthand, had attacked Corellia Fortress in an attempt to fire the 2 railway guns stationed there.
I think the payoffs are really worth it, so...
They'd made it abundantly clear that they were no mere insurgents. These were dangerous people we were dealing with.
No kidding.
And following their attempts to target Chancellor Osborn and the Reformist faction, rumors started to spread of a possible connection between the Imperial Liberation
Duke
Front
Cayenne on
and
the
the
left,
Noble faction itself.
and Duke Alvaret on the right. Eustace is dead. And apparently there's rumors that the Imperial Liberation Front is working for the Noble faction.
Meanwhile,
hey, look, it's
new information was filtering in from Crossbell that surprised us all. During the conference, one of the representatives of Crossbell's state government made the daring declaration.
The mayor, Reen. You can call him the mayor. Notice he doesn't refer to him as such.
That Crossbell would soon declare its independence, breaking free from its neighbors, Calvert and Erebronia.
Different perspective.
To no one's surprise, Both the Imperial government and the noble faction dismissed it as nothing more than delusional raving.
In fact, the papers in Erebonia probably didn't even bother to tell the people who it was. They probably just listed him as the mayor.
But one thing was clear.
Or a representative.
That declaration only served to increase the tension in Erebonia and across the continent.
Granted, we know what Dieter ultimately ended up doing, and it was utterly horrible, but it's also easy to understand where he was coming from. He actually is a gray villain. In fact, it's arguable whether or not his plan, had it worked, had he not been being manipulated, if that would have ultimately been a good thing for Crossbow. There's some debate as to that it would have been. But
on a cool, clear autumn day, the Academy's prestigious board of directors gathered for their first meeting of the year.
Oh, got a board of directors meeting. Oh, there's Sharon. Oh, we're finally seeing Vander Muller, huh? Or Muller-Vander. Oh yeah, she hates Sharon still. Yeah, that's like it. I hope you enjoyed that cameo of Vander, because that's all we're getting for a long time. I think he has like maybe 5 lines in the entire game. He is so criminally underused. It's so weird.
And that concludes my biannual report.
Good, good. It seems the Academy is running like a well-oiled machine. No administrative issues to speak of. Student performance is sitting comfortably above the national average on exams and on general aptitude tests, too.
Well, that's what happens when the main character attends.
The second-year students seem to be having a banner year as well.
Oh, that's good, Rufus. Hey, you working with Duke Cayenne? You want to talk to us about that?
The Student Council president, in particular, has built up an outstanding array of extracurricular achievements.
No, just gonna sit there? All right.
Well, she attended last month's trade conference, and from what I hear, she put the professional secretaries to shame.
Could have fooled me. I didn't see her in the crossbow game.
I only wish the conference could have ended on a more positive note.
Oh, you didn't like terrorists attacking? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'll say, the share prices of my company have been on a real roller coaster ride ever since.
Are you fucking serious, Irina? They tried to blow up a building, and your concern is with your goddamn share prices. Wow.
Undoubtedly, what happened at the trade conference has wreaked havoc on the economy as a whole.
I mean, at least Machias is dead. It's like, yeah, it hurt the economy as a whole. Can we let's move on now, please. Like, insensitive much, Irina?
Recent exam reports that class
Holy
1 and
shit,
2's
girl.
academic performance seems to be slipping.
Yeah, she's deliberately unlikable.
Perhaps the preferential treatment given to the upper class students is hindering their scholastic development.
Well, now it's time for the political struggle.
Well, students belonging to the nobility are allowed to return home during August to learn more about their family's lands.
Probably should stop doing that.
It's a tradition here, but one I can't help but wonder if we've outgrown the need for in this modern age.
If I may, traditions accumulate and hold meaning only so long as they're preserved.
I do like this scene.
Our nation's culture, its arts, its social
The different
classes,
perspectives here. I mean, I totally disagree with Rufus, but he does make a
all are
decent
rich
argument.
with tradition that makes Erebonia what it is, and I believe we have a duty to protect and uphold them. After all, does not this very institution champion the ideals of its founder, Emperor Drygles?
Indeed it does. Though I've always understood Drygles' intent to be the founding of an academy for the people. Even 200 years ago, when education was seen as the province of the nobility, male commoners were permitted to enroll.
Of course, only male commoners. Guess we shouldn't be surprised in a society that literally would rather have an adopted son inherit the nobility name than, you know, a daughter.
Today, we have plenty of young women attending, and the commoners easily outnumber the nobles
But,
on
yeah,
campus.
change takes time.
Perhaps it's time we started taking strides to realize Emperor Drygles' true ideal.
I love the world building.
You seem to be laboring under a few misconceptions here. Commoners were permitted to attend, but only as retainers.
Okay, and then Rufus completely loses me.
Retainers served knights, who served lords, who served the emperor. That's the way the Erebonian society functioned.
Well, society changes. Usually for the better.
From that vantage, the structure of the academy in its earlier days certainly seems to have embodied that social order.
And your social order sucks.
And if that's so, what is there to suggest that it's not the social order itself that has become the aberration?
Well, for one, if that were the case, it would be far easier for me to see my views put into practice.
Yeah.
But I can hardly get a word in edgewise between you two. Well, I'd certainly enjoy a return to the way things were in Dreikel's time, at least in that particular respect.
Our apologies, Your Highness.
Well, our role here is to consider your views.
Rufus
and
can
work toward
go
implementing
straight
them.
to hell. I don't like him.
See what I mean? Would you be so kind as to help me out here, Principal?
I'm here to moderate this.
I mean, whatever. He's nice enough, I
It
guess.
wouldn't
I
do
just
for me to
don't like his
express my
philosophy.
position on the issues at hand. That said, I'm sure your passion for reform will triumph in the end, Your Highness.
I hope so.
I suppose I
Country
should have
needs
known
it.
better than to look to my old teacher for sympathy.
It warms my heart to see such a fine teacher-student relationship.
That's good, Rufus.
Now, if I may, I'd like to steer this discussion toward a rather timely topic.
Like how I can increase my share prices. You guys aren't buying enough of my weapons.
We've already touched on the issues regarding the Orbal Net and the Orbal Staves, but I'd like to stress again that the adoption of new security measures for the Orbal Net should be a top priority.
Maybe you should have done that before you developed a giant cannon of death.
Well, I'm certainly inclined to agree, but we'll have to rely on the Foundation directly, as things are looking a little shaky with the IBC.
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you've, like, fucked over Crossbow for 50 years.
You can leave that to me.
Maybe you should have thought about that before you treated them like shit for so long.
The other matter I'd like to review is the use of the Orbal Staves and the Orcus units. Or more specifically, we need to talk about how Class 7 should operate from here on out.
What do you mean by that?
Setting aside the fact that my daughter is a member of Class 7, I think we need to reconsider how the class should be run, in light of what happened at Gorelia Fortress.
Why? We stopped a terrorist attack.
While it certainly proved an excellent chance to see what the Arcus units are capable of, I have serious doubts about whether we should carry on with these field studies, given the current political climate.
Yeah, I don't like Arena, but she's not a total asshole. She's actually genuinely concerned about them getting hurt.
It would be difficult to do so, I admit. With the terrorists at large and the problems in Crossbell unresolved,
Still a terrible mother,
at
though.
certain times.
At the very least, I believe it may be in the class's best interest to cancel this month's field study. We could always resume them once the terrorists have been arrested and the situation in Crossbell calms down.
Carl, dude. We're the main characters. If the terrorists are going to be arrested, let's be honest, we're going to be responsible for it. Because the rest of you are incompetent. I mean, just by definition.
Arise, O youth, and become the foundation of the world.
I mean, actually, Carl's quite competent. So is Olivier. But still,
I'm sure you all
not like the
recognize the
military's
words of
gonna arrest
Emperor
them.
Dreikel's. They become something of a school motto here. It's my belief that Class 7's actions at Gorelia Fortress perfectly embody the spirit of that directive. They stood together to stop a tragedy in the making, and, in a sense, protected the foundation of our world. No one ordered them to do it. They took action of their own free will, because they knew in their hearts what was right. Some might call it recklessness. Some may think it rash. Some may even venture to call it hubris. However, as chairman of this academy, I'm incredibly proud of what the brave young men and women of Class 7 achieved.
Your Highness.
Of course, the camera's just spinning. Okay.
Troubled times may lay in store for Erebonia, and for the entire continent in the months and years to come.
I swear the cutscene director, camera director, gets a little better later.
But I believe that
A
makes
little.
something like Class 7's field studies all the more significant. The experiences they're having now will help them find the strength and the means to press on through adversity. I can't be the only one who feels this way, can I?
I like this scene.
They do
Olivia's
seem to be
cool.
showing remarkable growth. that much is true. Although I have no idea how much my daughter is really capable of, immature as she is.
Probably more than you, frankly.
I could say the same of my hothead of a son.
I do wonder about my brother sometimes.
Shut up, Rufus.
However, it does seem that enrolling at this academy has helped him start breaking out of his shell.
I mean, I guess so. I guess he's not wrong there.
With the Academy Festival coming next month, we hadn't even planned a field study.
We better start planning. We got 2 more chapters left. Should have been 3, but they ran out of time for the intermission chapter.
So the issue at hand is just whether
I'm
to
not
hold a
kidding,
field study
by
at
the
the
way.
end of this month or not.
There is an intermission chapter, but it's not in the game.
I'd like to ask those in favor of going ahead with this month's field study to please raise their hands.
We're going to cliffhang on raising your hands, huh? Sweet.
All right, I'd like to begin by taking everyone's ideas for our class's part in the school festival.
School festival time.
The festival will run for 2 days next month, the 23rd and the 24th. Equipment setup and the other preparatory work will begin in the
always
afternoon,
school
2 days
festivals.
before the start of the festival. But there's a lot of preparation needed before we get to that point, and the sooner we get that underway, the better.
That's all the more reason to figure out what exactly we want to do. Some of our options include displays, events, stage shows, and cafes. Does that sound right, Crow?
Yeah, though no class I know would settle for just some simple display.
Okay, Crow.
I mean, come on. No one ever said, boy, we better rush to get in the line for that display.
Okay. I love Crow. God damn it, man.
Well, either way, I'd like to start by soliciting some ideas from all of you.
He's not wrong.
We're just brainstorming right now, so feel free to say whatever.
Can't wait to look at that display. Oh, man. It sure is displaying well. Don't all jump at once. Oh, Milliam! Her brain just cracked. Oh, poor Milliam. She's just like, what is a festival? I don't understand. Cannot compute.
Would it kill you all to give just a teensy bit of cooperation?
I know. It's just...
We could show everybody your Super Saiyan form.
It's kind of hard to focus right now.
I mean, terrorists did just try to blow up Crossbow.
You're one to talk, standing up there with your nervous fidgeting.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised.
The board of directors is in session as we speak, deciding what'll happen to our class.
And those of us with family members who sit on that board probably have even more cause for concern.
Probably.
You can say that again. We can't even be sure whether there'll be a field study this month.
That's about the long and short of it. With everything that happened during last month's field study, it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they just canceled it.
I can't say I have any particular feelings of attachment to our field studies, but I refuse to accept needless changes to our curriculum.
Okay, Eustace.
Especially with my brother involved in the decision-making process.
How dare my brother play a role in my future?
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
I mean, sure.
Makes sense to me. We also have to account for the fact that going on our field study means that much less time to prepare for the festival.
Oh, don't worry. We'll off-screen prepare for it. Don't worry.
So, as you can see, it presents a bit of a problem.
Man, look at you guys taking this all seriously.
Well, all you do is sleep. Wait.
I probably should have asked a little earlier, but...
Bro, why are you over there? Million, please don't tell me you're gonna ask what the festival is.
What's this festival you guys keep talking about?
God damn it. I told you
seriously?
She couldn't compute. I told you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have gone over that for your benefit.
Yeah, she didn't. That's why she freaked out.
Every year, the students here organize and put on a school-wide festival. There are stage events, food stalls, and all kinds of things to see and do. and it generally falls to each of the first-year classes to provide the main attractions.
Yeah, participating is optional for the second years, since by this point they're usually focusing on their future careers. Oh, and each of the clubs generally get involved too.
Huh, that sounds fun. In that case, we have to do something. We can't just let the other classes roll over us because we're small.
Because we're small.
You say that, but
William's so awesome.
I've already had one of the girls from Class 1 bluster up to me declaring that this time victory will be all ours.
Ferris? Yeah, Ferris.
What?
What?
It must have been Ferris. That sounds exactly like something she'd say.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Well, Class 1 does seem to have had it in for us ever since the midterm results were announced.
Screw him. Although Ferris is cool.
If it's all the same, I'd rather not see the House of High Arms claim yet another nominal victory.
Oh, what, Patrick?
But we need to account for the fact that our class is markedly smaller than theirs is.
That's true.
That's certainly true.
It'd help if we at least knew what the other classes are doing.
It kind of seems like everyone's having trouble staying focused.
No kidding.
Come on, everyone, get it together.
Instructor Sarah?
Isn't this a self-study period?
Oh, it was. But I thought you all might like to know that the Board of Directors meeting just adjourned a few minutes ago. So I decided to skip along down here and be the first to break the news.
Then?
Are we fired?
What about our next field study?
Or
are we still on?
Field study? Yeah.
The Chancellor's not the only one with a little too much iron in his blood.
Did you have to say that pun?
Because the board voted unanimously to have you continue your field studies.
Thanks to Olivier.
You mean it?
Yay! Now we can almost die horribly again! Hooray! Well, we solve everyone's problems.
So that's how it is.
I mean, basically.
You know, even though they're always hard work, I actually feel a little relieved.
I mean, yeah, what are we supposed to do? Just go to school and make friends? What kind of JRPG would that be?
Considering all that happened last month, we'll need to be especially careful this time around.
Still, it feels like our field studies are a big part of who we are as a class.
Like that.
Yeah.
They're kind of a pain, but oh well.
Oh well.
We should be grateful to His Highness and the directors.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Seeing the hard road and the easy road, then picking the hard one anyway. That's youth for you.
Okay, Crow.
It also sounded like His Highness and the directors will be taking off in pretty short order. So I'll let you guys out of study hall early to go see them if you want.
Oh.
If you say so.
I think I'll take you up on that.
My God, the loading is so fast on this SSD. I barely even saw the full loading logo didn't even show up. Man, replacing that hard drive was the best thing we could have done. Well, we did what we had to do to stop the terrorists. He's asking about Duke Cayenne. Yeah, he's just like, please, we don't want to be involved with Cayenne. So they're not quite so united. Oh, so you and your dad don't necessarily agree, huh? That's actually good advice. Find your own beliefs. regardless of your family. That's genuinely good advice from Rufus to use this. Type something you make, not something you find. Alright, it's good advice too. More creatively? I guess. And there's the $1 million question. Why are you laughing? Uh-huh. I don't see what purpose a giant cannon of death serves. Yeah, don't just take her opinion, find your own opinion. Right.
Still,
okay.
I wasn't expecting
Good
to
advice.
find myself indebted to you again so soon. Without your intervention, the Chancellor and I would have met our maker in Crossbow.
I mean, it sucks if it would have been you, but Osborne, we should throw a party. A very big party.
Don't mention it. We just...
But I guess all those other people dying in there would have been bad. I mean, Toa, Lloyd, and Co. Yeah, that would suck.
We're just relieved you're all okay, Your Highness.
Indeed. I'm glad you were able to focus on making a positive
Grace and Ryan's are in
contribution
there,
at the
too.
conference.
Dudley.
I wish I could tell you that's exactly what I did. I could scarcely find a place to chime in once the Chancellor and the Republic's president got going.
He's not wrong. We saw it. It was a disaster.
Though the mayor of Crossbell managed to dumbfound even that.
Dieter Kreuz.
I presume you're referring to his proposal for Crossbell's independence?
Hard to believe it could actually happen.
He's got a name, guys.
Well, as long as both Erebonia and Calvard refuse to accept it, the likelihood of it actually happening is incredibly low.
Yeah, it could never happen. Don't worry about it.
Still, they're planning to hold a referendum on the issue to see if the population is in favor of it.
Pay no attention to the 8-year-old with the giant robots. Doesn't mean anything.
So there'll be plenty more chances for disputes to break out over the issue.
Well, neither of them want to lose all that sweet tax revenue from Crossbell.
Sadly, Milliam is correct. That is what it's about.
Half of it flows into the provinces too, so like, fat chance the noble faction's gonna take that line down.
They are effectively treating Crossbell like a colony. She's not wrong.
Milliam.
Like, what she says is accurate. That is how they treat Crossbell.
I swear, this kid has all the delicacy of a rock to the face.
A rock to the face.
So you're Milliam, are you? Your name seems to have come up with increasing frequency lately. I was hoping
She has
for a
no
chance
filter.
to see the famous Eric Gettlam in action, though.
Oh, sure thing. Come on, Lamb!
Whoa there. Cool your jets.
No. I love that facial expression. He's just so happy.
I'm not sure this is the best place to call out Eric Gettlam. Just a hunch.
Even guys just like, don't do it.
Lame.
Lame.
Objection overruled.
Objection overruled.
That could have gotten messy.
Honestly, it would save us all a lot of trouble if you could just refrain from saying whatever pops into your mind, too.
Come on, it's not black-haired officer, it's Muller.
Lame.
Oh, Olivier.
Oh, who might you be?
God damn it.
Say, are you from the Vander family? The one who serves as the prince's bodyguard?
Yep.
Oh, did Neidhart mention me?
Yes, that's the same voice actor he had in battles
I'm
in
Mueller Vander, of the
SC
7th
and
Armor
3rd.
Division. I was with the prince at the conference in Crossbell, so I'm in your debt as well. Glad to be able to thank you personally.
The honor is ours, sir.
It's an honor to meet a member of the esteemed Vander family.
Ah, so you're the Radiant Blade Master's daughter. And you must be a practitioner of the 8 Leaves 1 Blade style. I'm always happy to meet fellow students of the sword. Oh, and you must be the young man from Nord who my uncle wrote a reference for.
Yes, that would be me. I owe a lot to Lieutenant General Vander.
It sounds like he's in your debt as well, with everything that happened in Nord a few months ago. Well, You all seem like dependable young men and
Babysitter,
women.
basically.
Perhaps the prince's idea had some merit to it after all.
See? What did I tell you?
I mean, Olivier is smart. He is competent. He just plays the role of the fool, which makes sense given the political climate.
And it's not just Class 7.
Gotta get people to underestimate
The
him.
whole academy seems so full
useful.
of life. Perhaps I should take this opportunity to break down social barriers by getting to know all of them in the academy's pool.
You had to make it weird. You had to make it weird. Do you want us to tell Shara about this?
If you really want to work up a sweat, I'd be glad to let you run back to Heimdall. If you kept up a good sprint, I'll bet you could even make it in a couple hours.
You'd actually make me do it, too. Cruelty. My name is Mueller.
He's not wrong. Cruelty.
It's like their hearts practically beat in sync.
Oh, you have no idea.
That's certainly one way to look at it. I wonder how long they've known each other.
A long time. Yep. It is. Carl's cool. Irina? No. Rufus is meh. Eustace is cool, though.
Well then, I bid you all a fond farewell. I hope we have the chance to meet again soon.
That's the plan. In theory. Yeah, another week went by. Yep, next free day. Nope. Even my fifth. Yeah, we have to do something. Probably not. It is Sarah. If greatness were reliant on numbers, museums would be full of artwork produced by committee. Okay. Oh yeah, we got our uniform changes, I guess. How are we doing with our, well, we're almost to level 5 with everybody. Maki's is a little behind. But I think that's good. So the only one that's maxed right now is Elliot. That's bizarre. Elliot, of all people. Huh. Well, whatever. That's good for now. Do the free day tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And tomorrow we'll go back to school. Have a normal, ordinary day. I mean, as ordinary as it can be in Cold Steel. Alright. Good night. Hey, Elliot or Elisa be the first. Yeah. Yeah. I do like Elliot. I just didn't expect him to max out first. Lisa's cool. There's nobody in the party I dislike. They're all cool. It's not like a war happened or whatever. Yeah, don't worry about the whole Harris thing. We'll get over it. It's no big deal. It's fine. It's fine. Just gotta tone down the beat. Probably go investigate a weird, creepy old school house that changes forms all the time. But other than that, just nice, relaxing day. Do we get more fan service tomorrow? Please don't make me swim. Please? Please? Oh, thank God I don't have to swim. Good. Alright. Alright. Good night.